Well, welcome everybody. You're here and you're here for a good reason. We're happy that you're here. I'm your host, Edward Pereira. My co-host and very good friend is Attila Heveshi. Two geniuses are joining us. Mr. Ed Barsano, as I call him, the Einstein of today, because you're going to see that he's created something that no one else has, that everybody said was impossible to do. And yes, so there's a lot of things that are impossible until until you do them, and then they're
Yeah.
no longer impossible. And then Crypto Casey, you joined us the past few weeks. It is such a pleasure and a privilege to have you. The talking heads of me and Attila and Ed Barsano look much brighter and much more professional with you joining us. So thank you again for joining us. So
Yeah, thank you guys, and thanks for everyone joining as well, taking the
yeah,
time with us.
excellent. So I am going to switch over, try and get you past your birthday, your birthday announcement, because that was last week. If you missed it, you missed something big. And trying to find the right controls. All right, let me know when it comes up.
Something's coming up.
Something's coming up.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make
Expectations. Yep.
yep, we'll make it bigger for the hearing impaired. That would be me. There you go. Just so you see what we had last week. There you go. Happy birthday again, Crypto Casey. You don't look a day over 25.
Thank
So
you.
expectations. What can you expect, particularly if it's the first time you've been here? Is that how about if we don't make you busier, but we make you richer? We're going to show you an automation system that literally puts new cash flow on a regular with high security and high safety, which are the things that you should pay attention to. But cash flow and automated cash flow opportunity that literally sounds too good to be true, but it's not. You'll see why. We'll show you all of the details. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but you're going to see a platform that literally works for you while you sleep and making money while you sleep 24/7, 365 in one of the most volatile asset classes on the planet, if not the most volatile. But you don't have to worry about it because the automation, the process, and the system works for you, not against you. So stay tuned. Disclaimer: just look at the red parts. We're here for educational, informational, and sometimes entertainment purposes. We're not licensed financial. We're not giving you legal, tax, financial, any other kind of advice other than sharing with you a system that doesn't exist anywhere else, that everybody has said can never be done. And our Einstein, Mr. Barsano, has done it. So, uh, snapshot these questions. Does it work? Does it, are my funds secure? Is it real? Yes, and yes. It just works. So if this is the first time you've seen it, you're in for a ride. If it's the 101st time you've seen it, you're still in for a ride because everybody seems to learn something new as the times in this crazy new market changes. So with that, let me
No,
stop
that's
sharing.
because the reason you learn something new is because none of us have any notes and we're all running by the seat of our pants.
But we do provide extraordinary information that is actionable intelligence that people can. It's not, we're not waxing eloquently about what we think Bitcoin's going to do, although we may touch on it, or whether XRP is going to be 500. We literally give you actionable intelligence that you can put to work in your life today, right now, today, that makes your life better. And we'll show you how. And there's not a better panel that you could be sharing your time with. And I know it's a very valuable investment of your time. So with that, happy that you're here. Attila,
Yep.
take it away.
Okay. Thanks, Edward, for the introduction. So my job is very brief. I'll be short and sweet, but I want to explain to everybody a little bit about my background and how I came across Mr. Barsano in 2012. Pretty interesting story. So first of all, I've been in the world of finance most of my life. And financially, I don't want to bore you with the details, but let's fast forward from when I was a young man in my first endeavor, which was in finance, to September of 2020. That's when I discovered this wonderful, wacky, crazy world of the digital money revolution, blockchain, DeFi. Back then NFTs were like the thing. AI wasn't really the thing yet. And of course, crypto. But I basically understood that I missed the internet revolution, and there was no way I was going to miss this revolution, because this is the biggest one of all, because it's disrupting something that has not been disrupted in many, many moons, and that is the global financial system. So there's no bigger financial disruption than that. So I kind of just listened to a lot of influencers and and a lot of podcasters, and read a lot and researched a lot, and kind of learned a thing or two about this space, built a nice crypto portfolio. But we'll get to the juicy part of that story in a minute. Let me backtrack now to Mr. Barsano, because he after he got out of the Navy and he did some nuclear engineering for the government, he was one of the first 350 people hired by Bill Gates at Microsoft. And this was in the mid 80s. He did an amazing job there for 8.5 years, retired a young man. And fortunately, he lost about 60% of his net worth in the year 2000 with the stock market crash. And he took it personally. He obviously figured out that the game is rigged for the average person, and all he wanted to do was level the playing field so that the masses, the average Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Sally, and Susie, could have a fair shot of making consistent money and gains and income from trading in an automated fashion without gambling. And he did that, and he launched it in 2001. Now, we fast forward to 2012. That's when I met him. I was introduced by a mutual friend. And basically, what was explained to me that all you have to do is download the software. It took about 60 to 90 minutes, but once that was done, you put it to work and it did everything by itself. And I always wanted to trade the stock market, but I wasn't willing to learn how to be a day trader or anything like that. I don't have the patience for it. So basically, I bought the trader back then, the stock trader that Ed created, and it was amazing. It actually did everything that he said it would do. It turned itself on at 9:30 in the morning, traded all day for you. When the stock market opened, it turned on, traded for you all day, and at 4 o'clock when the market closed, turned itself off automatically. And in between, it was just doing its thing. 100% unattended. Now, that's pretty amazing today, but back then in 2012, it was mind-boggling. And imagine when he first launched it in 2001, how crazy it was, how crazy good it was. So anyway,
I didn't even realize I did anything unusual.
No.
well, it's pretty
When I did
unusual.
it,
we're all the
I
benefactors.
figured it had to be out there already. Why wouldn't it be?
Right. So, but anyway, Ed Barsano ended up selling out to a hedge fund back in 2018-ish. A hedge fund actually that bought a lot of licenses from him in the past. And then he was just playing around with some ideas there for a couple of years, experimenting. And then a lot of people that owned the stock trader back in the day were urging him to develop a trader for crypto. Now, this is where the story takes a little turn. Actually, just 1 week, 5 days, 2 years and 5 days ago, I was sitting at my desk, and I just had a frustrating day, and I'm like, man, I got to figure out a way to have my crypto just make more crypto on itself. How do I multiply my crypto, but in a safe and secure fashion? Because I had been in 5 different blockchain cash flow projects previous to that, where I had lost money. One of them actually lasted 18 months, and it made up for some of the losses I incurred. But boy, oh boy, safety and security is of utmost importance here, folks, especially if you're new to this Zoom and you've never been here before. Safety and security of your funds is the number one most important thing. And we'll get to that in a minute. So it took me a day, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll bet my friend Ed Barsano somewhere in the last 3, 4, 5 years has developed a trader for the crypto market. I still had his phone number in my phone. That's right. I called him. I missed him, but he called me back and we spoke for 3 hours and he confirmed my hunch. He said, Attila, I launched this thing in April of 21 and I haven't looked back. He said it's light years ahead of the stock trader. And I already knew how great the stock trader was. So I said, how do you mean? What do you mean by that? He said, there's basically 4 reasons why. Number one, stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto is 24/7, 365. Just that in and of itself right there is a major advantage. And I agreed. That's a fact. Number two, he said, Attila, you know this. You need massive volatility to make any kind of gains or really kick butt in trading. Any kind of trading. I don't care what asset class it is. He said, there's really no asset class or very few that are as volatile as the crypto market. And that matters. And I said, yeah, I agree with that too. But number three and number four is really what knocked my socks off. Number three, he said, I made it web-based. It's not downloadable software anymore. Now, I remember what it was like downloading that software. It was cumbersome, trust me. So I said, what does web-based mean? He said, you buy the license again, I'll have you connected live to your Coinbase in about 8-9 minutes. I said, let's do it. I bought the license on the spot, and in 8.5 minutes, he had me connected live trading to Coinbase. And that blew me away because I remember the old days. Nothing like that. Number four, if you remember a few minutes ago, I told you we'll get back to this. Number four is the most important part in my estimation. And he said, until I created a simple API to your own Kraken account or your own Coinbase account, where you and only you control your money. The trader just sends the buy and sell signals to the exchange. All the trading is done at the exchange level, so you control that. And I thought that was magnificent because, like I said before, this means that your funds will always be under your control, safe and secure. And folks, let's face it, Coinbase and Kraken aren't going anywhere. The chances of anything happening to them are slim to none. I mean, technically it could happen, but Coinbase is a public company. Many massive enterprise, big enterprise corporations custody their crypto at Coinbase, meaning Coinbase is the guardian over those cryptocurrencies that the big institutions hold. So, and Kraken is similar. So anyway, and Kraken was just issued. Casey, what kind of banking license was Kraken just issued? It wasn't full bore, but it was almost like a Fed license, right? A Fed banking.
Yeah, I think they are directly connected to the Fed, and they are slated to launch an IPO to become public like Coinbase as well.
Thank you very much. So safety and security of funds, really important. Now, I'm going to ask everybody to pay attention to three things and keep three things at the forefront of your mind. The first one, if you're new here, believe me when I tell you, this is not a matter of will it work, can it work, does it work? It's been working 25 years. And Crypto Casey, how many months did you check out the trader on your own, unbeknownst to us, before you decided to even let your subscribers know about it?
Yeah, so I'll just give a little background. One of a mutual friend of mine. What? Go ahead.
I said, please do.
Yeah. So I have a friend who's not in crypto, but he was at a networking thing, a different type of networking event, and he encountered Edward. And him and Edward were talking, and Edward mentioned that he was into blockchain, stuff like that. And my friend said, oh, you should meet my friend Casey. She has a YouTube channel that teaches about blockchain, talks about cryptocurrencies. So then I had a meeting with Edward and Attila, and they showed me what we're about to look at today. This was, what, 3 years ago now? Almost.
A little bit over 2.5. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it was in January or around February. Anyway, so they give me this spiel, and I'm not convinced. As everything that I don't like to say, like too good to be true, extremely passive. You don't have to look at it. I don't like saying that.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah, and I was like, man, scam. I don't know. But part of what I do with my YouTube channel is, of course, check out product services. You know, crypto is so nascent of an industry that we're not going to see billboards about it. We're not going to see advertisements on local television or on Netflix or push to Facebook. So, I think I take the due diligence. I'll test it out. If it will help people, then I want to talk about it. So I didn't tell them. So I bought it and then I used it for about 3 months until they kind of followed up with me. And I was like, yeah, I've actually bought it and I've been using it. And they're like, what? You paid full price? We would have given it to you. I'm like, no, I wanted the full, just organic experience. And so I didn't make a video about it until 9 months later. And I was still hesitant to make the video because I was like, this is not going to go over well. But hey, I have conviction in it. It's been working for me. And if people don't want to use it, they don't have to. But yeah,
Yeah.
I used it for about 9 months before I made the first video.
And
So-
thousands of happy subscribers later.
Yes, and I'm so happy about that because I'm just one person that did it, and then you guys were giving me the spiel, and I was like, well, I guess we're gonna see proof of the pudding if other people like it, and so far it's been phenomenally loved.
That's awesome. Let me go back to the beginning of your story.
Yeah, this is your favorite part of it.
When I met Matt and started talking about it, he goes, "Oh yeah, good. Yeah, she goes by Crypto Casey. I mean, that's not obviously not your real first name, but I'm like, no, what? No way. There's no way you know Crypto Casey." And I'm like, I've been following her. She's the one I learned this space from and continue to learn. And Matt's like, yeah, she's really cool. She'll talk to you. We didn't know until later that he broke the one rule that you gave him.
Yeah, so it's funny. Me and my friend Matt, we're like in a kind of mutual business, but I'm a silent partner. And I said, there's only one rule. Don't mention my YouTube stuff. I don't know. Just it doesn't have anything to do with it. And he broke the rule, but here we are.
Thanks, Matt.
So it kind of worked out. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
So anyway, cool. I really appreciate you sharing that story because it hits home with a lot of people. But folks, the first thing I just mentioned is here we have a very well-esteemed blockchain, crypto, digital money revolution type influencer, very well respected in the space that tested it out for 7, 8, 9 months before even making the decision to finally, you know what, this is working well enough for me to introduce it. I feel comfortable enough. It's working well enough for me, and I see enough results to introduce it to my subscribers. That says a lot. That speaks volumes. Number 2, as we go through this today, we're going to say set it and forget it and 100% unattended many times. Please take it literally. Once you set this up and you're connected live with the API to the exchange, you don't have to do anything. There's no interaction necessary, no screen time necessary. We mean it. We really mean it. Now, obviously, if you want to look at it once a day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day to see what your trader is doing, you're going to do that. That's fine. Just, it's on your computer. So that's number 2. The third thing I always ask everybody to take into consideration and think about really closely, or carefully rather, is what this man, Ed Barsano, has created for the world. It's never been done, folks, without anybody being an accredited investor, without anyone really knowing anything about trading, without anyone knowing a darn thing about crypto. You could now automate a portion of your financial life and make money while you sleep with this platform. So that's pretty significant. And 25-year track record, never sells at a loss, takes profits when it goes up a certain percentage, buys more when it goes down a certain percentage. I mean, you can't beat it. So enough talking by me. I'm going to introduce now our special guest, one of our 2 special guests for today, Ed Barsano. We've rambled on for 24 minutes here, so you've only got like 40 minutes.
I know. I checked. I was looking. I was just looking at the time here, and I'm like, come on, man. I mean, I can only write so many notes, and there's only so many things I can correct of what you said.
Oh man!
First off, you said I was the first. Oh, go ahead.
I appreciate you leaving me out of the. I said everything correctly, apparently.
Yeah, I think. Let me see. I wrote some stuff down here. But yeah, it's great to be here. It's always great when Crypto Casey pops in. I was really surprised. I was glad I got dressed, man, because I was, Anyways, I was not the 300, the first 350 people at Microsoft. I was the first 350 developers at Microsoft. They have a lot of other employees. So the notes I took here, I mean, in no special order. You did make a comment, Attila. You said, without gambling. I wanted to create a robotic trader in 2000 after I got hammered in the market. You said I wanted to create a system that, takes away the gambling. Really, well, I wanted to take away the system that takes away us being robbed. Really. That
Yeah.
was it. It wasn't the
Well,
gambling part of it at all. It was the robbed. I didn't like the fact that they robbed us in the 2000 market crash. I didn't mind the fact that if I lost money in the market, hey, you lose money in the market. That's fine, but you don't want to be robbed though. And I could see that we were robbed in that crash. So that's what I was going to put an end to. And I've been doing that. The biggest thing about robotic trading really is your DNA. It's because and I call it your DNA because you have this expectation, or at least most people that I've observed, they have this expectation that when they buy a coin, it's going to go straight up. That's what they want it to do. When you place a buy order, I want everybody to think about that, all of you guys out there. When you place a manual order, are you thinking in your mind that it's going to go up? You're buying it now because you want it to go up? And that's not how the auto trader works. The auto trader is prepping you for the kill, prepping you for the big money. It's landing positions, it's placing them in strategic places where the market where you trap the market. And that's what it's about. It's it's almost not fair what we're doing to the market. It's not fair to the market because because it's easy money. And and the harder they try to hit us or hurt us, and when I say that is the only tools they have really, the big guys that want to accumulate all the shares is to push a coin lower. That's all they really have to work with. Pushing it up isn't going to get you out of the market. Pushing it down is what scares people out. And so that's the only tool they have to work with is pushing it down. And we've turned that, I figured out how to turn that into our advantage. It's like, hey, you want to go down there? I'll go down there with you. But I'll trap you down there. Now you're trapped. And now they are trapped. When they push the price down, they can't wiggle it up, even a small wiggle up. Even a 5% move up, you got to pay me now because I bought shares all the way down there.
mhm.
And so I've always got the market trapped. It's kind of like a minefield. I think of it like a minefield, but it's also like a whole bunch of toll booths I'm putting in front of them. So even after they wiggle it up a little bit and I take some profit, they think, "Oh, good, we're in the clear." No, you're not, because now you can't wiggle it up again without me taking money. So I've always got them trapped, no matter where they go. So for the last 5 years, the market's been dropping literally 94%. That's why I brought this real big bottle from 12 cents all the way to a half cent. I'm looking at alchemy, thinking alchemy pay. That's a long way down. Now, buy and holders, of course, they're all the way up here. They bought all in up here. They're dead because the coin is down here. But we laid all these traps along the way, so they can they we take money here, but then if they try to go lower, we buy it again. But if they try to go higher, they still got another minefield here because we got all these lots, and they got to go through every one of these and pay us. And every time they try to wiggle backwards, we add more. So we got them constantly in this trap situation where they got to just keep paying us.
Hey, Ed, something just popped into my head, and that's usually not a good thing. But in this case, it's a good thing. So when you should change the name of lots when you buy a lot.
I know
It
I
just
call it
dawned on
that.
me when you said trap, you should call it bear trap
Trap.
because they're trying to create and have successfully created a bear market. And every time they do that, you set a
Ah,
bear trap.
I'm gonna write that. Bear trap.
And really for the new people listening, out of everything that Ed Barsano says about the trader and all the features and benefits of the trader, if you could understand this concept, how really truly he does have the market trapped. It's got to pay you whether it goes up or
Yeah,
down. I
I
mean,
got
it's
him. I
really
got him right where I want him.
the key point. Yeah, it's really the most important thing to remember.
Yep. And when you
And
say
the
you
big,
got them, when you got them right where they want what you have them right where you want them, you mean anybody that owns the trader.
anybody, right?
Right.
The auto trader is designed to trap the market. It is to put it in a position where they have to pay you. And the harder they go down, some people look at a down market like it's a bad thing. I look at it like it's a good thing. The 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 people that get rich in the market are the ones that are loading up at the lowest prices. That's number one. And the other thing is make them keep paying you. Create a door and say every time that door opens, they have to pay you. Like I said somebody mentioned, I mentioned, picture a door in your house. Put a bucket next to the bathroom door. It sounds funny, but I mean, it's a door that opens a lot. Put a bucket there and throw $1 in it every day and watch how much money is in that bucket in a few months. And call those profits, and those profits have to go somewhere. That bucket will fill up and spill over. It's undeniable. Profits cannot be denied. They are real. Um,
Yep.
so I've been doing this 25 years, and I was watching, I don't know what I was watching last night, but it was something on TV. And and I was thinking that you can't get the education I have. There's nowhere you can get it. Because over the last 25 years, there's no university that's going to teach what I know. Um, because I've been working with the public for 25 years in their auto traders, and I learned how people are trading, what they want to do. I gave my original auto trader, Attila, had 10 screens of settings.
Yep.
You could do anything you could dream of in there. And I called it 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. And that was education for me. I could see what worked and what doesn't work. And what people don't realize, everybody is out there trying to learn the market, trying to learn things. And what they're all trying to learn is how to make money. And what I learned is what not to do.
Hmm.
I learned what not to do. Not, what to do is easy. Coin goes up, you sell it, you make money. That's not rocket science. It's managing the losers because the market is always going down. And what I mean by always going down is a coin will go up 10% in one day and it'll spend the next 4 days going down. So you're always looking at a down market. You're always in your DNA is just eating away at you because it's another down day, another down day. What you're not realizing is it might have gone up 20%, and then for the next 6 days it's going down 5%, 2%, 3%. It's going down, 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 down. And all you're seeing is negative, negative, negative. And all I see is positive, positive, positive because I'm buying, buying, buying in a down market. Because now the market, think of this. Why do you want to buy in a down market? Unless you believe that cryptos aren't real, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. Do you believe? You have to ask yourself, do you really believe that this crypto digital dollar, digital currency, digital revolution that we've all been talking about is real, or do you not believe it's real? Because that's the big question. If you can answer that question, if you believe it's real, then you know these prices sitting at rock bottom are going to go higher.
Yep.
If you believe that. Now, if you don't believe it's real, then what are you doing here? Then I want to see some of those numbers of people that are on here right now go away. If you don't believe it's real, then what are you doing here? Don't gamble. I don't want you to gamble. I don't want you to do something that you really don't believe is real. You don't believe Bitcoin Bitcoin's running out of shares. I mean, they're going to they can only do 21 million shares, right, Casey?
So way less than that.
I mean, aren't they like close to being out of them?
I think you're muted,
Oh,
Casey.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Well, we definitely have a lot of derivative activity from the ETFs,
Yeah.
other things that create kind of an artificially higher supply of Bitcoin than the demand because they're trying to use that to suppress the price. But yeah, you're right. I mean, from a technological level, I mean, at some point, somebody will be left holding a bag or, having to pay some people for the shorts. You know what I'm saying?
so we are literally, think of supply and demand. Where Bitcoin it's the demand is big and supply is small.
Yep.
It has nowhere really to go but up, is what I'm saying. And I mean, I am not worried about these coins in the least. I mean, Bitcoin is going to go to 500,000. I'm not even worried about that, you know, and I can trade them forever without any concern that I'm going to lose. And it's a patience thing. Understand that it's more than a patience thing. It's not. Warren Buffett says it, and he doesn't. I don't like what he says. Just hang on. I don't like where they say just buy and hold and don't worry. It always goes up so much. And I feel like if it goes down, I don't want to be buying holding up here. Yeah, in the long run, maybe it is going to go back up there and go higher. But why don't I take advantage of all this down? This is where the rich get richer. Buying down here at the bottom.
and all the
Buying
trades in
while it's
between,
down here.
and all the trades that people are missing in between.
Oh, they're missing thousands of trades. I actually put a video or a meme out yesterday, I think it was. It said something like, if you're not trading, you're missing thousands of trades.
And
You're
thousands
simply
of
missing
dollars.
thousands of trades.
Right.
And I put another one out that said something. I get crazy. I put another meme out yet a couple of days ago that said, you wouldn't fill up the shelves in your 7-Eleven and unlock the doors. You know, and that's what you're doing if you're a buy and holder. Because you bought inventory, but now you're sitting there waiting for it to go up. I mean, if it goes down, you're waiting for it to go back up before you break even when you could be buying more at the bottom and trading. Always be trading. That's the key. So, but you can't pay for the knowledge I have because everybody shares with me. I'm very open and I talk to people for hours and I learn all kinds of stuff people tell me about. I mean, I know all about, think of it, how to clean your air filters in your house, how to, dialysis, the ins and outs of it. You got all these different ways to do it. You could do it with blood. You could do it with, they pump water or whatever into your stomach. I don't get it. I don't know how all that works. But I know a lot of stuff. I know how to keep your marriage working, just do what she says. Um, I know a lot of stuff, people share with me. Um,
I forgot to let the audience know at the beginning that this was a therapy session.
I put it in the chat. I said, this is my therapy session. I need to get all this off my chest because I don't understand how the whole world doesn't see it. And I've always been kind of an abstainer anyways. I'm the guy in the room where 12 other people are saying yes, yes, yes to something. I'll go, no, I don't think so. So, I'm used to being the abstainer, because I think it through. And I think about, well, what about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? And people don't think about that stuff. They only think about the positive side. When you buy a coin, you're thinking it's going to go up. And that's all you're thinking about. And then when it goes down, what is your strategy? Stop loss, you're dead. You'll be selling more coins at a loss than you'll be taking in profits, that's for
Maybe
sure.
that's a good time to kind of show them the layer two part that, every time people put stop losses or whatever they want, the algorithm,
Oh,
everybody's already taking advantage of that, and you're showing your cards. You know what I'm saying? Showing
oh,
your hand.
yeah, let's just jump to that real fast since we're on
Yeah,
that,
because
since I
it's
brought that up.
unbelievable when you look at it.
All right. So we'll go. Is it unbelievable? I just thought it was everyday stuff.
Well, I think most people, I don't know. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I've talked about layer two
no,
data, but
you're,
whenever you finally put it to where you can see how fast it is and all of the fake data that's putting through that manipulates everything, I didn't really know that that's what was happening that fast, that frequently.
oh.
Yep.
that people live and die, that professional traders sit there and that's all they look at is your orders and make
Casey,
sure that,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
It's for more of a knowledge question for everybody. Ed could answer this actually, any of us could, but you're the pretty face out there teaching people. So, in your opinion, regardless of the trader,
Sure.
in your opinion, what percentage of the crypto market, quite frankly, any market, is what do you believe the percentage to be of the market being manipulated?
All of it.
All of it.
All of
All of
it.
it.
Absolutely.
So is it fair to say that if anybody's gonna, I mean, unless you're a buy and holder and you love sitting on 90% decrease in assets over the last 4 years, is it fair to say that if it's a manipulated market, wouldn't you want to process in a system to give you an unfair advantage?
Well, yeah, you want to ride on the coattails of the people that have the power and the money to manipulate the market, which is what this does.
Hmm.
Kind of doing exactly what they're
Hmm.
doing.
That's actually a very, 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 very strong statement.
Hmm.
Cool. Thank you for entertaining my question.
Mhm.
all right, this is the
Sure.
level 2 screen here. You have your ask prices up here, and the bottom ask price is your what they call your best ask. If I was to look at if you see prices, you say, well, what is Swift going at right now? You're gonna say, well, the ask price, if I want to buy it, this is the best price I can get right here. Is this 0.0032600 right here, the bottom one. And if I want to sell it, I mean that's the lowest buy price that I'm gonna if I want to buy that I'm gonna get. If any the next one's up. These are orders, by the way. So, people saying I'm willing to sell my shares, but I want that much. Here's somebody up here that says I'm willing to sell my shares, but I want this much. Look at these four orders all in a row here, the same quantity. That's fake stuff. So 3739, and then there's a 3739 down here. They're throwing their numbers. There's another 3739 up here, 3739 up here. You can just see the corruption. They're putting these orders all over the place, and then they're going to cancel them. They pluck them out because they're not real. And then not only that, but if you wanted to buy it, say I want to buy $1,000 worth of this coin. Okay, well, this is only $33, this bottom one, or 47 now. The next one above is 12. The next one is 19. How about I got to go all the way up to this price here to get my $1,000 worth if I wanted to buy 1,000. So I'm paying a lot more than what you call the best ask price. You think it's 332,100, and it's really 332,600. So it's the prices, and then now look at all this small little bitty orders. If I want to buy 1,000 shares now, it's going to be in the 3 something up here before I can actually get filled. You can't buy what isn't available. These are the best, the lowest prices that people are willing to sell at. And if you want to buy so many shares, then you're going to have to buy all these shares down here to to fill your order. And look at all this right here, all this fake 3739. Look at all these in a row right up here. Talk about totally fake baloney. They're just cluttering the screen with garbage just to manipulate these numbers. So you don't realize really what you're looking at. Because I'll get an email from people, and I get it often. They'll say, that price was already, where it should be for me to buy. How come I'm not buying? And I'm like, look at the level 2 screen, for crying out loud. That price for you to buy the $4,000 worth of shares or whatever you're trading, you'd have to buy everything on this screen. And by the time you get that filled, you're going to be paying this top price here, not this low price here. So the whole level 2 screen is just cluttered with garbage. There's your 37, look at these down here, all these same numbers right here. All these right here, 5 in a row. Just baloney, and they're all real small orders. Who's trading in $10 or $12 lot sizes? Not me. I can't even imagine anybody buying $12 worth of a coin. So I'm just saying that, like Crypto Casey said, the whole market is just corrupt. They're playing games with the public. When the prices aren't moving, people want the prices to move. Some people are out there changing their strategies, and every day I come in, first thing I look at, all right, right now, this is my trader. I'm going to leave my hands right here so I don't see the edges, the left or the right. All I see is one number. I don't know whether I made money today or what's going on. This is my trader. First thing I look at is today's move, and I go, oh, well, that's not moving. That's not moving. That one barely went up 2.5, 2.5%. That's not much. That one's not moving. That one went down 2.5%. I'm almost ready to buy a little bit more of that one. That would be nice if it goes down a little bit more. But I can see that the market's simply not moving. So change it, and then I'll look over here and say today's profit's taken nothing. Okay, well, obviously nothing because nothing's up. The market's not even moving. So we're sitting around here, and millions of people are out there changing their strategies right now because they're trying to make something happen. And they don't realize you can change your strategy all day long. All you're doing is wrecking your strategy more than anything, because until the prices are moving, you can't make them move. There's nothing you can do to make these prices change. So, people don't understand that. It's the market that dictates what you're going to make. The auto trader's job is to prep you for the kill, is to trap that market so that when it does move, they got to pay you. Other than that, you can't. You're just not going to take anything if there's nothing to take. And I don't care what bot is out there saying baloney things. I hear people saying, "Oh, I can go to this other bot. They guarantee 300% return a month." I'm like, "Go! You're just going to lose your money, because nobody in the world could guarantee you that. I mean, it's not even possible. They're making it up. They're lying." Either that or they're gambling big time, and then you're going to lose everything. People have tried to emulate my software over the years because I make it look so simple. Don't I, Attila? I mean, my traders
Yeah.
look so simple that you
Yep.
think they're simple. And
Well,
I had one guy actually, somebody slapped out some system around 2015 or 16. And he actually was saying, don't get Ed's system, just give me your money.
Mhm.
And I guarantee this. Well, you know where he's at right now? In jail. He just blew $2 million of somebody's money, and he's actually in jail right now. Um, and people can't do what they've tried. I've seen at least 3 other people try to create what I've done, and they can't
can
do
you
it. They don't
can you
realize what's behind the scenes.
exactly? So can you explain how, since you started this trader back 25, almost 26 years ago, that it's operating off of 26 years of, it's been building off of 26 years of data, whereas these newer ones in crypto, let's
Yep.
just give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe been operating for 8 years. But
Mhm.
imagine it's a 26-year-old versus an 8-year-old competing. It's kind of, yeah,
And
go ahead and explain that.
and
Do you
it's
see that? Do you see that AI right there?
right. Yeah.
That was actually the next thing I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And make sure that people know it's clean data, actually where the data is coming from. It's not coming
Well,
from multiple sources.
AI. Let's talk about AI for a second. I've been doing AI since '89, since my Microsoft days, right?
Oh, yep.
And I can tell you what AI is. AI is pattern recognition. In other words, I can look at all the indicators, 27 indicators, plus a lot of other indicators. I really never really talk about the other indicators that are there along with the stochastics and the MACD, the technical indicators. There's other stuff in there, times and all kinds of things. How much it's moved in the last 5 minutes, just a whole bunch of other indicators of other data along in the AI. So the AI, it writes its data to files, and it's pattern recognition. It says, I've seen this. I've seen this pattern before. I've seen this pattern a million times before. And I can tell you with 98% accuracy right now, this coin is going to go up higher in the next few minutes.
Hmm.
That's it. I like to say it could spot a zebra through a picket fence. There's the picket fence, and here's the zebra. And it could, no, here's the picket fence, and here's the zebra behind it. It could say, I see a zebra back there, even though they kind of look the same. That's a dumb analogy. but it can't tell you where that zebra is going to be an hour from now. It can tell you I see the zebra right now, but I don't know where it's going to be later. AI is not designed for forecasting. AI is designed for many other things. Like you see now that what's coming out. You can create a song, just give it some lines and they will create the song for you. They can create images and all the stuff that they're doing with AI right now that you're seeing. That's all fantastic. I don't do any of that, by the way. Way over my head. Let me tell you that. All that's way over my head. Not my area of expertise. But what AI is, but the AI is really designed for, I've seen this the auto trader, the AI takes a snapshot of what's going on right now in this instant in time, looking at all the indicators, and it calculates and creates a pattern. And it says, based on this pattern, it creates numbers is what it is. And it says, based on this pattern, I'm only 16% that the coin's going to go higher. More than likely, it's going to go lower. Because it's seen the pattern a million times. And how did I get it to see a pattern a million times? Each auto trader for years, every minute it writes data to files. And then the AI trains on I've got terabits of data, and it trains on that data. And so it says, I've seen these patterns a million times. I can tell you within the next 30 minutes, this coin, I'm 97% sure this coin is going to go higher within the next 30 minutes. Why only 30 minutes? Because the pattern starts breaking down. All the indicators start changing. And then the pattern starts changing. And then it's looking at new patterns. So it's constantly looking at new patterns. And then the new patterns are saying, things don't look like they're going higher. Things are falling off. And so, and that would be like all the buyers dried up and there are no more buyers, and then things are going to go down now. But the AI can see that before you see it. So that's what AI is. Now these other people that are creating what they call their AI, they're bragging that, oh, look at me, I have an AI trader, I have an AI bot that they just created in the last couple of years. They don't have all that history going back 25 years. So they don't know what they don't know. The AI is a learning system. It can't know what happened in 2016, 17, 18, 19. It doesn't know. So it hasn't seen those patterns, so it doesn't recognize the patterns when it's running. I mean, it's like a 25-year-old running a foot race with a 2-year-old. They don't even have a prayer. And I don't care who that 2-year-old is. I don't think there's a 2-year-old that could beat me in a foot race. I like to think maybe not. Is there? Is there some crazy 2-year-old out there that's really fast?
I don't think a human one, maybe like a dog or a cat.
Unless some of these athletes kids, I don't know. I don't want to race a 5-year-old. Maybe he could beat me. But a 2-year-old, they don't have a prayer.
Hey,
I'll
Ed,
beat 'em.
since you have the trader up, why don't you go over some of the key features there?
All right. Well, the most important thing is you got your trades down here. You can see every trade that it's doing. $224, $135, $364. Now, some people might say, well, I want to make so much. I want to make $1,000 every trade, that kind of stuff. What I always say about that is if you're running a 7-Eleven, you can't sell $50 bags of potato chips. Nobody's going to buy them. So you can only take what the market's willing to bear. Now, the market is willing to bear $2 bags of potato chips. It's not willing to pay you $50 for a bag of potato chips. Now, if it was my grandmother, the market would only bear 5-cent bags of potato chips. Because she is not going to spend no $2 on a bag of potato chips. She's like, you're crazy. I could buy a house with $2. That's how she thinks.
What did you start this approximately? What did you start this trader with? How much money?
200,000. I always
So
back then I started with 200.
February 7th, 2023, just over 3 years ago, this trader's taken almost $376,000
in profits, and it didn't do it all at once. Like I said, it took whatever the market wants to give me.
Yeah.
I don't dictate to the market. The market tells me what it wants to give me. And I can scroll down here here's $17. Here's a $17 one. Here's the $26 one. Here's a $19 one. It's like whatever the market wants to give me, it'll give me. You want to give me $655? I'll take it. You want to give me $1.50? I'll take that. Here's $12. Here's $9, down here. And all these down here are buys. It's not just when you're running a Go Baby Trade Trader, just think of a 7-Eleven. You put product on the shelf and you sell it off. Then you restock the shelf and you sell that off. You can sit here and scroll through and see all the, you have days where you're just doing a lot of selling, and then you have days where you're just doing a lot of buying, and then they're just going. Some days you're just going back and forth, and it all adds up. That's the thing. It all adds up,
Hey,
So
Ed, we're almost at an hour, and we like to remind people, if you're new here today, Edward will be posting a special link. It's Crypto Casey's link. Remember, she said earlier she paid $1,000 more. She paid full retail, unbeknownst to us, $44.95 for a 3-year license, where all of you are entitled to $1,000 discount. So for a 3-year license, it'll be $34.99. That's for 3 years. That's if you break it up by 36 months, that averages like $97 a month to automate a portion of your financial life. Not bad, folks.
Yep.
So I put the link up here, right here if you put the link in your browser and you click on pricing, it takes you right down here and it shows you Crypto KC special.
Yep.
Right. Perfect.
And don't go past this page. Look in the payment methods. There you go.
Yeah, you can pay with a credit card, a debit card. You can pay with crypto. You can even use Affirm. And our links are there. It'll bring up the Affirm screen and make payments, monthly payments or pay it off.
And that's one of the new things the past, like 2-3 weeks, people have been able to
yeah.
do the payment thing instead of
the whole thing. And Casey, what's my favorite kind of money? Other people's money.
Other people's money. Oh yeah, like the bank or Affirm's money.
Well, just since you brought up the bank, I always like to think of, when you're saving money, I always got to expound knowledge out there. I want people to think of what you're doing. You're thinking, I'm going to put my money in a bank to save it. That's why I'm putting it in a bank. I want to save my money. And that's your goal. Well, you can save your money in a drawer. You can save your money under your mattress. But if you're going to put it in a bank, don't you think they should pay you interest? Don't you think that if they're loaning the money to a credit card company and the credit card and the credit card company is paying the bank for the borrowing of that money, and then the credit card company is going to loan that same money out that they borrowed from the bank, they're going to loan it out for 30% interest. Don't you think that and then you got to pay them 30%? Everybody in that equation is making money except you, and you're the one with the money.
No, it's funny if you really think about it.
None of that works.
If you really think about it, if you have money in the bank and the bank is loaning money to a firm and a firm is loaning money to you at like 20% interest and the bank's paying you 0.06% interest, you're actually like borrowing your own money that the bank doesn't even have. Ever. That's exactly
much higher.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. Anthony says, hit the reset button, folks. Let me tell you, reset. Let me give you something to think about that you're going to take far beyond today. If you had money in the bank last year, 2025, not even considering inflation, we'll talk about that as a separate, but in the devaluation of your dollar, January 1, 2025, you had a dollar, assuming it buys $1 worth of stuff. The government printed so many billions of dollars out of thin air, out of nothing, and put them into circulation that by December 31st, your dollar had a purchasing power of 85 cents. 15%. Add in inflation that they BS you to tell you that it's somewhere around 3%. Anybody that goes out in real life and buys something knows it's more than that. So let's just say it's 5%. Now you have 20% that the value of your money in the bank lost, even if they paid you 0.01%. Oh, and you borrow it back, as Casey and Ed said, you're not paying 30%. Tack the 30% on top of the 15% or 20% that you lost, and that's really what that cost of money is. So if you're saving money in your 401k or wherever it is, and it's not working for you, I'll steal a little bit of Attila's thunder. If your money is not making money while you sleep, you are losing money.
Mhm.
Punchline. If you didn't make 20% of your money last year, you lost money.
I like
Put it in your auto trader.
I like Ted H's comment. He said 13 cents an hour for 3 years to pay somebody to trade for you 24/7.
That has no emotion, that never makes a mistake, never sells at a loss. Is it worth 13 cents an hour?
Well
But
said,
look at
Ted.
And
this.
you don't have to talk to them or anything.
And you
Yeah.
don't
They
have to
don't
beat
get
them.
sick.
Right?
They don't complain.
and you and there's no chance of them being an a-hole.
But look at these trades here. I was just now noticing these trades in the last couple of days. The auto trader bought this Dogecoin for 8991, 08991. Here it is. And then a day later it sold it for 09478 for $135 of free money. And then it bought Shiba Inu at 576 here and sold it at 610 for $224. Again, more free money. It's just free money. If you walked out of your house right now and find a $5 bill on the ground, would you be happy? Think about it. If you opened up your door and a $5 bill was right there on the ground, you would be happy. This is throwing money at you almost every day of your life. Look at
No,
all
but
this
here's
money.
what's funny. Here's what's funny. That's exactly how hedge funds and Wall Street makes money. They make money off of market movements and manipulation. They have the power to manipulate, so they're pretty much insider trading. But this is how they make money. They're not smarter. They're not like finding some gold gem and holding it while it goes up. They make
Right.
money
Hey,
the same way
Case,
this is making money.
They do not know more than we know. We got to stop this notion of thinking other people know more than you. Personally, I never had that problem, but I've noticed other people seem to have that problem, thinking other people know more than you. Once you lose that, you come off as arrogant and all. That's true. But quit thinking other people know more than you. Does Trump know more than you? Tell me this, did Trump know that when I had to fill up my tank the other day, I was going to spend $99? I mean, it blew me away, man. I mean, like, is it going to stop?
hey,
I never paid that much for a tank of gas in my life.
Ed and Casey, this is from Ricky B. Ricky Brand. I don't see the end of your last name. It's Ricky Brand something. But
Brandon.
anyway, Brendan, thank you. He says, this is awesome. I'm pretty new with a small amount in the trader, like $5,000 in there. Been happy so far. Did I just understand correctly? Put everything into the auto trader? Now,
Yes.
Hold on. He says, it looks like this. Today's profits taken $11.59. 30-day profits taken 165. Since 3/2, $275 in profit. Since 113 rather. That's positive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It would
Yeah,
take
think
you,
of it in
it would take you,
percents.
it would take you 20 years to make $275 on $5,000 in the bank. Okay.
Yeah,
He did that
it's
in less than 3
insanity.
months. Yeah.
Edward, have
You
you
know,
showed the calculator yet?
I haven't showed the calculator, but I can. You want to show a
wait,
couple
it's
of
still my
reports?
Whatever you
turn.
guys want to do.
Yep.
It's still my turn.
Oh
It's
yeah.
still, well, you can.
People want to see the auto trader.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Well,
let me
show them the power and show them some reports that
all
only
right.
exist
I
in the
And
will.
he
auto
I will
only,
trader.
not
he
expound on
just,
too many more things,
Ricky,
other than people put all their money in the trader, and just the more money it has, the more money it makes.
Well, while
The
you're
goal is
pulling it
to
up,
get your profits per trade up.
while you're pulling that up, I think another interesting thing. I don't know if people have seen the private credit crisis, which we talked about a little bit, but also with 401ks. Regardless, so we're putting money in 401ks. People are managing it, whatever. That's fine. But the sad part is, even if let's just assume they are managing it great and we're making returns, there's a penalty for us to take it out early. The money that we earn, we're putting in this thing for tax purposes, and we can't take it out until we're at an age that we're not even promised to reach.
good
Right.
And
point.
it keeps changing all the time. Like it was what, 55,
Yeah.
now 65, it's going to be 80. And you get
Someday,
penalized, they steal it, and they're just rehypothecating it anyways. I don't get it.
someday.
With the auto trader, it's
Yeah.
making money that you can actually live on. I live off my Coinbase.
It's completely
Visa
liquid
card. It's
with no
right.
penalties.
Yes.
I have a Coinbase Visa card, and it's the card that keeps on giving. I'm not even interested in other cards that give me 5% cash back on gas and all. I don't care about those. I like to use my Coinbase Visa card because it's like free money. It's a card that keeps on giving. Every time I use it, I say to myself, the card that keeps on giving. It's just like a free, this is like free money. And all your save profits, I'm saving 50% of my money goes into my save bucket. I can redistribute funds. You notice I'm expanding this screen, Casey. I've added a little bit more here to be
Go
able to
back over here.
distribute, to deal with the funds that were already distributed. Up here is the manage the profits as they're coming in. How do I want the profits that are being made to be distributed between the coins? I can control that. Plus, I can tell it how much to save and don't put it in any coins so that I can use it on my credit card and just spend it. But then when I get done, after it's already in the coins, I can redistribute the funds. I can say, all right, these funds were already distributed to each coin. I can take that out. I can say, you know what? I want to pull back $30 of that I already distributed there, and stuff like that.
And I want to say a couple things about this. So one, I asked about this feature about a year ago. Now it's here. Two, so imagine the trader's making money and then you get to decide what to do with that money, but you have to think about it. But let's just say you either want to keep some for liquidity or you want to buy Bitcoin or maybe buy XRP just to, dollar cost average over time, long term. You had to do that manually. Now that part is automated. And I bought the license full price 3 years ago, and he's constantly adding all these features that you don't even have to pay extra for.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Only
And
because
let me remind everybody, the only features that get added are the ones that Casey asked for.
Yes. Yeah, just circumvent through me and we'll get it. We'll make it happen.
let me show you how Casey distributes hers. She has all this set to 0, and the one coin she pretend like that's Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, sure.
She puts 100% of her profits go into her Bitcoin. So she's using the other coins. You don't mind me sharing your strategy, do you?
No, I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, I've been
All
talking
right.
about it
All
before
right.
you automated that. I was just doing that myself.
But then
See,
on
she was
top of
doing it
that,
manually. And so all these other coins are making all this money. And she said, well, yeah, but I don't want the other coins really to use the profits. I want the profits to just go into my Bitcoin where I'm accumulating. And
And
so,
it's not just buying Bitcoin whenever I have money. It's deciding when to buy it as it sees that the price is going lower. So it's a very superior way to
right.
dollar cost average into Bitcoin.
It's the
that's
ultimate way to
phenomenal.
do it. It's the ultimate way to do it.
If you think about it, how phenomenal is that? That not only can you direct where your profits to go, but then once you direct it to that place, you could dollar cost average. That's
In the most superior way.
unbelievable.
Yeah, there's just this whole system is just really designed
Wow.
to help people.
It's like a wealth management platform, like truly at this point, not just
Yes,
an AI bot trader.
you're right.
Right.
It's automatic.
Right.
It's automating money.
So all people do is they just put their coins in that they wanted to trade. Also, I added decimals here on the percents. Edward, you see this? I added decimals here.
Yes.
So that when I hit spread funds equally, it divides the money up more evenly.
Got it.
Wow.
Before, when it was round percents and without the decimals, I couldn't get these numbers to get. Some of them would be like he'd be 21% and 1% lower would be $1,000 difference. But now that I added the decimals to the percents, I can get them much closer. So you just hit spread funds equally, and and you tell it add to decliners and add to advancers. If I was trading, I mean, I can tell you Bitcoin. Say I wanted to add Bitcoin to this. Let me show you how easy this is. And I'm going to say I want to add Bitcoin, and I don't want to sell it. I don't want to allow it to sell, but I want to add it as the coin is going up and down. Because if it goes higher, I want to add to advancers too. And I just hit spread funds equally there. I just borrowed money from all the other coins, distributed, gave Bitcoin money to work with, and away we go. That's how
Wow.
fast it is. You just added a coin and it's
Boom.
it's on its way. It's going to follow all the rules within 3 or 4 minutes. It'll buy that Bitcoin and the first lot, and then it'll be on its way.
Yeah. So
Folks, if anybody
think
out
about
there,
what you just said for a second. So and using Casey's strategy or whether it's Bitcoin or anything else. What if the scenario is, and it's not a what if, here's the scenario. It is trading for you, taking a profit, and let's say you wanted to smartly fill your bags, such as the Bitcoin scenario or the XRP scenario. So it's trading, it's giving you free money. That free money is being allocated to assets that are free money, that when it goes up, it's made more free money. That's mind twisting.
It's
That's how Wall Street makes money. They don't want us to know that.
I've taken all the sport out of the market. I've taken all the gambling out of the market. I've taken all the mystery out of the market, and then the next page is the edit strategy. There's only one screen of settings. There's not 10 screens of things you can do. If you go to the internet and say, show me the top 50 bots, it's going to bring up all these other bots, right? And I noticed they placed the AI out there, Chat GPT, I guess, places value on the fact that you can do 100 different things. Well, good luck. If you can do 100 different things, you're going to destroy yourself 100 different ways. Because, people are chasing the market instead of laying your landmines out, putting your bear traps out, as Edward puts it. And we don't chase the market, we trap the market. So when it buys, it's not buying with the intent of selling it right away. Let me show you this bucket and a well here, and let me show you what I mean.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I want to say, this has become a no-brainer. So this isn't, what if you're new here, this isn't a sales pitch. This is an illumination.
No, it's just common sense stuff.
It's common sense, but common sense isn't common sense. So everybody here, you've already heard that obviously Ed is a product of the product. Casey is a product of the product, and she knows more than all of us combined about about the logic of what runs this
no, you do.
But everybody that's here owns the trader. I own multiple traders. Ed, actually, we all do. So
I think I own 4.
It's you own 4. Yeah, 4. You own as many as you wanted, because you made it. So
I always open up new traders. If I'm looking at the highest trade count report, that the one that shows like the most trades coins make, and I see like 5 nice coins at the top, I'll throw 100,000 into another portfolio in my Coinbase and just add another trader to it.
That will be nice when everybody in this community is able to do the same thing, and it's time versus money.
Do the calculator. Yeah.
Oh, do the calculator. Okay, yeah. So we'll do that right after. I'll show you the calculator. So we'll start at a couple different amounts, and you can see what your life could look like in a very, very short period of time. Very conservative.
But just a quick brief of what this is. Some people don't even know what a bucket and a well is. If it was water, the bucket would have to go all the way to the bottom and get the water and go all the way back up and dump it out. We all know that. It can't go halfway down and then go back up. It'll be an empty bucket. But with crypto, all it's got to do is wiggle. Just go down a little, up a little, give me money. And just keep pumping money for the rest of your life. Like I said, throw all those profits into this bucket. It will spill over. And then every time you have a big move in the market like that, if it jumps up like that, that inventory you were holding that you thought was losing positions, you just it'll sell all that off, everything below it. But a critical thing here to notice about this bucket and a well, I don't know if anybody picked up on it. Everything we're talking about is down. You notice that? You went in up here at the top and it went down, because I know how to manage losers. I know how to turn losers into winners. Everybody else, what they want to do is they want to buy it here and have it go straight up. And they concentrate on the up. And I'm like, no, it's already going up. You already take your money. The key to the market is being able to handle losers, and Go Baby Trade specializes in trapping the market and turning losers into winners. This is where people get rich. People don't get rich in an up market up here and then jump in at the top. You don't get rich doing that. You get rich when you're coming in and it's all going down and you're building all this all that inventory. And when that goes up, when it goes, or if it just wiggles, this is where the money is, right here inside this. And that's what the auto trader specializes in.
Yep.
All right, now we can go. And remember your questions on this if you guys have any questions about this.
We're going to get into the Q&A right after this example.
Yep. So let me just read a couple of comments. Saif, obviously new, welcome. What happens if the cryptos go down and keep going down? What stop can you apply if the market drops? Ed?
We want the market to drop.
Ed, that is
if I could get Microsoft to go to 30 cents a share right now, I would do it. I don't know how to get it there, but thanks to the big guys, BlackRock, Vanguard, they pushed all the coins down for us.
Yep.
Stop loss is dead, Anthony.
There is no stop loss. The magic is proper management of the money. Always be trading. The money is managed when you put. One of the misnomers is you put $5,000, $10,000 in, and the market starts going crazy and it makes money, and people go, "Well, how can I make it put more money in?" Well, then you're defeating the purpose of the money management.
That's what everybody wants, is to put more in.
This is a time game. This is not a get rich quick.
It's a life. It could get rich quick if the market wants to go up quick. But it's really all about the market doing what it's doing and you just taking profits forever.
Yep.
But remember something. I want everybody to think of this one thing. Stop loss. Stop and think to yourself. If I change the name of stop loss to lock in loss, would you use it? Think about it.
Yep. All right, one more comment, and then I'm going to jump into
that I bought something up here, and I'm going to lock in the loss down here. Yep. Forget that.
Yeah, Ricky, who's new, recently bought the trader. My friend has had this for a while, and I saw him making money, and I felt left out. I watched some videos, bought it, and my wife just said, "Whatever." When the first cha-ching went off, she said, "How much money did you make?" It was only a couple of bucks, and I was thrilled. She finally gets it now. We make money every other day now. So thanks for that.
Well, at 7-Eleven, how much do they sell candy bars for? I mean, the goal is to sell a lot of candy bars. You don't have to sell $50 candy bars. You sell a bunch of $1 candy bars.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
It depends on how much money you have. It's just it's a percentage game. A guy with $1 million gets 100% a year in 1 year return. A guy with 1,000 made 1,000. A guy with $1 million made $1 million. It's a numbers game. The more money you put in, the more money it'll make.
So Ricky, you inspired my trader apparently. So I'm gonna bring that up as I'm navigating to the.
Oh yeah, you got a profit there.
Literally just like a minute ago.
Oh,
that's great.
Sorry, it actually settled 7 minutes ago. So everybody can see that, right?
Look at that. Set 3:11 p.m. Wow, yeah.
So $2.57 may not seem like much, but if it happens on a regular basis, like Ed said, if you go outside, if I go outside and somebody's taped a $20 bill in my front door, how many times do you think I'm going to take it? Every time. Every time.
And so why are people giving you $20 bills there, Edward?
Well, I've got a couple right in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, in the middle of the night. Right. In the middle of the night. Yes. It does it while I sleep. It does it while I'm thinking about it. It does it while I don't think about it. It does it while I'm on while we're presenting. How amazing is that? All right. Can you see my calculator?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
going to give everybody this calculator. It's going to be a really, really long URL, but nevertheless, give me just 1 second, so everybody can do exactly what I'm doing. But that's the parameters that I currently have in it. Where do we go?
It's up there. It's in the chat.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll do a couple of scenarios. So, Ed, I'm going to ask you some questions and I'm going to plug in things based on your answers. So, your first trader was December 19th, 2000, or your big trader
21. Oh, which
21.
one?
Just the big one, the one that we
You
always
mean
used
the
to look
crypto
at.
trader?
Yeah,
Crypto?
crypto
Yeah.
trader. Yes, yes,
That
yes.
was, yeah, in
Right.
October of 21.
Right. So compare 2019 or 2021, December 19th to now, a little bit over 4 years. You put $200,000 in. How much did the trader make you?
That one, 950,000.
Okay. So not blowing the numbers up. That's a on average. Didn't happen all at once. Didn't happen every year. Didn't happen, every single day, but it happened over a little bit over a 4 year period. So that's 5x your money. Okay. That's not even realistic for this, but I just wanted to point out the facts. So what if we cut that by 2/3 and just say it's only made 50% a year? Is that fair?
I think anyone running an auto trader and they look at their profits and calculate it, annualize it, you can see that's what you're taking off the table in physical profits
Yeah, and like I said at the
pretty
very beginning,
easily in a
if
down market.
in a 90% plus down market, like I said at the beginning, you're going to see some things that you shake your head at, particularly if it's the first time going 50%. Are you out of your mind? No, I just cut it by 2/3. If you want to see what it really looks like, you know by what Ed just shared with you. But let's just
Wait till
run the
that trend
scenario.
turns up. Watch when that trend turns
Right.
up. Then we
Oh,
are in uncharted waters.
right. Great point. The trader, the crypto trader, since it's been released, has never seen an up market. Not
Yeah.
once. So let's just say 5,000. I'll do it with a smaller amount in a second.
Never
Over a
seen a big
9 year
one.
period, Casey talked about 401k that you can't access. I don't know anybody that works a career that can access their 401k without penalties in 9 years. And you're waiting for some day that, as she said, may never arrive. This is liquid. This is available. This is now money. This is what it can do. I've already run the calculations. So 9 years. Granted, you'll pay. And by the way, if you buy the trader, by Mr. Barsano's grace and generosity, your renewal rate is locked in as long as you want it. So the next question is, if I said, give me $1 and 3 years later, I'm going to give you five, how many dollars would you give me? If you answer less than all of them, then you probably do need therapy and not here. But here's the scenario: $5,000 starting, 9 years, 50% annual returns, which is extraordinarily conservative, as much as it sounds outrageous. And for that 9 years, you're committed to putting $250 extra a month in the best savings account that you could ever do. But you're not saving. Your money's working for you while you're sleeping, right? It generates for your total account value is 464,000 with 5,000 starting, and the price of the licenses. And as long as the license costs me less than what I'm making, then I'm going to renew the license forever, right? So let's just get ultra conservative. Let's just say you're doing the same thing with $500 starting, because people go, well, maybe I don't have $5,000. And if I go buy money, or if I go buy the trader on with other people's money, then I've got a fair shot at outrunning the cost of doing business, right? And by the way, think of this as if you've ever thought of a side hustle, your 5 to 9 to cover your 9 to 5, or to eventually escape that trap. This is a business in a box that you have no employees, no insurance, no other costs other than watching your money grow. The 7-Eleven,
The 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar.
7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar. So even at $500 starting in that same scenario, relatively conservatively, if you committed to this, then you literally have $300,000. Over time, look at this. Over time, if you had 15,000. And this is a real scenario, which is by the way, this is a nonprofit that I created, that I started with $15,000. And since 9/11 of last year, it's made $2,600. So every dollar that's donated to my organization, I put to work. Actually, a small percentage of what we take in reserves, we put into the trader, because how great is it to be able to report back to a donor that says, hey, I gave you $100 and I turned it into or you gave me $100 and I turned it into $400 to help more people with a hand up, not a handout. That's pretty freaking spectacular. Now, if you're just doing it for yourself, that's cool. Okay. Same scenario with $15,000 is almost $1 million over time. Does that beat your 401k?
Try 50. Let's see because a lot of people have $50,000 accounts. I see a
Okay.
lot of people with that.
Okay.
I'm just like to see what it's doing. 2 million, right? Cool.
Can you do 3 years? Like it would just be the cost of the 3,500 license. Let's see.
Sure. Same everything else?
Yeah, why not? I don't know.
Okay.
Curious. Yeah.
186,000.
That's pretty nice.
Yep. 3x.
And that's only a 50% return, and we're talking, it'll do that standing on its head in a down market. But we are sitting at the bottom now. We got BlackRock sitting at the bottom. We got them trapped at the bottom now. They had a grand old time pushing those coins down for the last 4 years.
Yep.
But now that they've got them all the way at the bottom, I want to see what their next move is, because we got them trapped down there.
Yeah,
and
let me give you
a ton of inventory we bought above it. They can't go back up without us. They want to make their money, then they got to pay us too.
Yep. Talk about the power of compounding. Einstein said it's the eighth wonder of the world. You're either paying interest or making interest. Let me do one more scenario. I brought this back up for a reason. This is running at a ROI, if I annualize it, at 67.2%. So let's change this to 60. And I started with 15,000, so I'll change that. 67.2. This is what this power does to the people that donate to my organization, and we serve people with it.
This is your nonprofit, right?
This is my nonprofit, and we put in a minimum of $500 a month. Sometimes it's much more significant than that.
Yep.
Okay. 15,000 in donations turns into 112,000 by itself.
In 3 years, yeah.
In 3 years, yeah.
Oh.
Change that to 9 years.
There's no way a nonprofit is going to take the money that they receive and grow it like that. I mean, not even 1/100th of that.
Yep. So there's our actual scenario over a 9-year period that our board has set. 15,000 over 9 years, 67.2. Again, it's never seen a down market. I mean, it's never seen an up market. And
no, it's never seen a bull market.
It's never seen a bull market, right?
It's seen an up market, but not a bull market.
Okay. Imagine you're the nonprofit of you, which most people have more month at the end of their money anyway. You've got 2.6 million. This is the last scenario, I promise. I'm going to give you $687,000 to buy your dream house, because I'm going to take it out of the scenario. By the way, the reason why is because a trader caps at $2 million. Now, doesn't stop you from buying another trader, but let's say you're in the spending mode now and you're loving it. Whoops. Is that enough zeros? I think it is. Okay. We're going to take this to 1. We're going to take this to 50. We're no longer going to contribute. Watch what happens. While you're sleeping now, passively, by the way, you still have the $2 million working for you all day, every day, every day, right? It's thrown off $1 million a year. Divide that by 12, and that is $86,000 in passive income a month.
Yeah. Does that the people with big money in these auto traders are having a field day, man. They are loving it.
Does that beat your retirement account?
Ricky had an interesting question. He says, does that, on your calculator, is the $250 contribution monthly, the additional $250, coming from profits saved or truly additional contributions above the profits? And I answered, let me just finish. I answered that it's additional contributions.
Yep.
But you could manipulate that. You could actually set the trader to add that in there.
Correct. So
Perfect.
we
Thank
actually
you.
good question, great answer.
Yeah.
Great question, great answer. But what the scenario that I have set up is it's an additional new money,
Mhm.
$500 a month, and
Right.
I roll all the profits that it makes. So it's literally compounding, and then I'm just adding more fuel to compound.
Thanks for
It's
clarification.
math doesn't lie. I can tell you this is a great time for me to say thank you to Mr. Barsano because he's literally changed the trajectory of my personal and family financial trajectory, plus the ability to take donations, leverage them to from a biblical perspective, two fish and five loaves. I'm happy.
Mr. Barsano, are you going to leave your jacket on or take it off for the Q&A?
Is it going to be a good Q&A? Are we going to really hear some
Oh,
meaty stuff?
no,
Maybe.
absolutely. We got a good crowd on hand today.
It's April Fools. We might get some tricksters. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm going to
Anthony's
take it off. Usually I take off my jacket when we talk about those talking heads on TV with their ties on and all. They never teach you anything. So I take off my jacket because I don't want to look like them.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Attila,
Yes,
would you
sir.
take the first question? But in the meantime, while you're doing that, bear with me a second. I promised some data in the chat. So we are here at the behest of Crypto Casey. So just so you know, our function, Attila and I, we're here to be the in between. Casey's doing what Casey does. Ed's doing what Ed does, which is he and his team are always adding more features and functions and stuff that just makes it easier for you to make money. Attila and I are here to support you in any way, shape, or form. And we're actually going to move into a new era and add an additional service on our part in that you're not alone. You leave here with a whole bunch of information and you go, geez, I got some more questions. We're going to post a calendar here shortly within the next week or so that's going to allow you to, while it's fresh on your mind and while it's while before you talk yourself out of it's too good to be true, we want you to be able to schedule a call with us, and one or two or both of us will be on we'll be on a call with you, a direct Zoom to be able to answer your questions, which will allow you and give you personalized examples without sharing your personal information with everybody. But I think that's going to help everybody decide whether this fits into their life or not. So that's coming. But in the meantime, let me give you two support emails. The first is if you've got highly technical questions or you already have the trader and go, something might doesn't sound right, then send a note to support at GoBabyTrade at support at gobabytrade.com. And then one of our support emails is support at RCT Marketing Systems. That's also us. You can put your information in there. You can also, in the meantime, before we publish the calendar for you to be able to pick off of in a time, if you want to talk to us, if it makes sense to you and you're considering it, then just shoot RCT Marketing Systems, supported RCT Marketing Systems, a note saying, I would love to schedule a call because I'm interested in the trader, right? You can do that now. So a couple of other things. We created a free community that allows you to discuss, ask questions, ask us questions. We put the replays in there. We also we do a weekly newsletter that is an aggregate of information about the decentralized and the cryptocurrency world at large. You will not find this information anywhere else. We're getting great feedback on it. Thank you, Anthony, all the others that support. So click on that link if you want to join the community. Casey and Ed are part of the community, but don't expect that they're going to, if you ask them a question, that they're going to get back to you immediately. But everybody participates because we're here to serve you at the highest level. And then the next to last, is we post the replays on our YouTube community. Casey, I know this
Yes.
doesn't make any sense to you, but it will remind you of your younger days, meaning younger when you started your channel.
Oh gosh.
We just
Over 10 years ago now.
we
2017.
Wow.
We
Wow.
Financial Intelligence for You just monetized, and we have 1,020 subscribers. So we're
Nice.
we're on your tail. You got like almost 700,000, but we're running.
We
Now let's
only have
go. We got to
600.
spread the good news and do away with the bad or
Yeah,
inaccurate.
well, I can tell you that big thanks are in order for both you and Ed Barsano, because as we support you in spreading the word for all the good, it's also a great opportunity and honor, and thank you because you helped us grow our channel as well. The last thing
Yeah, we'll go.
before we go Q&A is I just put Casey's link in there. You can all the things that Ed showed you. You can click on that link, no obligation. It'll take you to the landing page, and you can do your own research. So with that,
Okay.
Mr. Heveshi.
Thank you. First question is from Ravinder Singh. I could answer part of this, and then Ed, I'll leave
I
the
think
rest to you.
Ravender just signed up a couple days ago.
Yeah, he says, hi, I just have a few questions. What are the best coins to invest in? Do you keep changing coins, or do you keep the same for the 3 years? If so, how often do you change them, and how best to change them if you already have coins options filled in? Um, I will tell you this, you're asking for trouble if you want to consistently change out of coins into new coins. Pick 3 or 4 that you like, because that's the last part of his question. How many coins do you recommend having? This $953,000 of profit Ed Barsano made on his first trader was with 3 coins. So technically you could change in and out of them, but it gets messy. It gets
Well, the thing
cumbersome.
is,
Yep.
you see this number of lots or bear traps that
Right.
have appeared. I
I
got
see. You wrote
25
that
bear
down, didn't
traps,
you?
of course.
We
I
need to
have
start putting like
25.
emoticons on stuff so people know, like, all right.
The bear trap. Yeah, get the actual trap.
I know. I wish I was a graphic artist. But I got 25 bear traps on ACH, 25 bear traps on Doge, 37 bear traps on GRT. Now, that's what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. I have a lot of inventory, right? Because we all know these coins are at the rock bottom. And remember this, down is good. Down
Right.
is great. So every time you see it down, be happy, don't be sad, because that means you're able to buy at a ridiculously lower price. And these prices right now are I call them insultingly low. They've gone beyond low. This is stupid low at this point. These are good companies, and their coin and their prices are like Microsoft at 2 cents a share. It's like, give me a break. If
Really.
this is the thing is, the whales, BlackRock and those guys, and I always mention BlackRock because they're sitting on $100 billion, and that's not a made up number, of crypto. They're sitting on $100 billion worth of crypto. These guys are, and they loaded up from the top all the way to the bottom, just like we did. And they know they're gonna make a fortune when this stuff takes off. Watch that Clarity Act and all that stuff. They're fighting battles in all the courts. When this thing takes off, and we're at the infancy of something so big, watch when these coins are going for $30 a share. Watch how rich you get. Nobody's going to chase me out. I already know I'm going to make at least 50 million minimum. And that's not even
Yeah.
looking for anything if it just goes back to where it was 5 years ago. But watch what happens when it really takes off. So
So Ed,
down is good. Appreciate the fact that it's down. But a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. And if you start swapping out of your coins, then you're getting rid of, what are you going to do with that inventory? Are you going to sell it at a loss? I mean, you're sitting on this inventory. Now, I see some people do this, and I don't like it. I see some people unchecking the buys on some of these coins, and they'll say, okay, I'm gonna, put other coins in. Like I did down here, I added these two, but I didn't save, so these aren't really saved yet. This Bitcoin and XRP. And so I stopped trading these and I moved the money into these other two, Bitcoin and XRP at the bottom here. The problem when you do that is these coins will drop 30% more and you're not buying. So if your last buy was up here and they drop 30% more, you get the prices moving around like this, but you're not making any money because you're not buying. You always want to be buying at the bottom. I tell more people, And because I help people, you know, we come and I look at their traders and they say, well, how can you help me? And I look at this stuff and I'm like, you know what? Turn that back on, turn that back on, turn that back on, because the auto trader makes money trading. Like I said earlier, did you hear me? You would not fill the shelves in your 7-Eleven and then lock the door. You got to
Right.
turn inventory. You want to sell stuff. You don't want to just be a buy and holder. The buy and holders are dead. 5 years ago, if you
Well,
bought these coins all the way up here and the price is 90% lower, you're just dead. And I'll tell you what they're doing by the millions every day. The people that did that, they're dumping their coins now. They just said, you know what? They're watching these coins go up and down here. They're not making a dime because all their money's tied up here. They already went all in. And so now what they're doing is they're bailing out, especially when they see the coins going lower and lower every day. It's freaking them out on these down days. So they're like, and their friends and family are saying, get out, you're going to lose everything. And then they panic and they sell out at the bottom. And that's what's going on. So I
yeah,
say,
great point.
let it keep trading. Never stop trading. Quit turning these off and don't add this many coins. You shouldn't have
Yeah.
more than 5 coins tops.
Hey Ed, you made such great points there. I mean, really, I've been with Ed Barsano long enough to know that when people come on these, excuse me, when people come on our webinars, like all of you are on this webinar today, you hear us say it over and over and over again. You don't need more than 3 to 5 coins. And yet the people that email me and need help on a Zoom, they started up their trader and they bought 10, 15 coins. They put 10 to 15 coins in there. And now they're scratching their heads. They were on the same Zoom. They heard us say, you don't need more than 3 to 5, and they started with 10 to 15. I don't know. I don't know. Hello, McFly. Somebody slapped me. I don't know what's going on, but
Who's McFly?
We can't make what?
Who's McFly? From Back to the
Back
Future.
to the Future. You don't remember that movie? McFly. Anyway,
No.
that's a
Sorry.
great analogy, Ed. Well, there's a good
All
movie.
right.
There's a good movie for you and your family this
But
weekend.
and so as far as coins go, we have, if you go to the website and click on trade counts, you can actually see the top moving coins, the ones that move the most. So some people ask, which coins, where do I start? And we show you the top, the default coins that we show you. The 3 coins that we show are utility coins, number 1. We skip over memes, and we look, because I don't know if you're going to trade with Coinbase or Kraken when you first sign up. So we show the coins that have both Coinbase and Kraken available down here. And so we go down and find that one, and we look across, say, is it a utility? Then PRCL is the first coin. The next one going down that's also a utility, if I scroll down, I believe it's number 9 on the list, is XCN. It's a utility. Utility versus meme. Meme coins are like joke coins. Some of them turn into utility coins, but they start out as memes. I think like Sheep. And then Coinbase and Kraken, they're available at both XCN. So that's another good one. And then the next one is Edge. Let me find it. EDGE. Edge is on line 23, all the way down there. And it's available at both a utility. So those are the 3 default coins. And a lot of people trade those coins. So those are the 3 default coins you get. Really, that's 33% per coin of your money allocated to each coin. So you got a good bucket of money for each coin. If you put 10 coins, now you've divided your money into 10% per coin. I know one guy that trades with 100 coins. This is the truth. And he's got it allocated 1% of his money per coin. He gets trades all day long. Doesn't make any money. So you made all those trades. That's nice, but you don't have any money in those coins. You want to have a good bucket of money in each coin. Like 20, even 5 coins is 20% of your money divided into 5 coins is so 20% each. And so you have a good amount of money. So when you're trading, you're making profits. The name of the game is profits per trade. And you want this number to get bigger and bigger. Your goal should be, how can I get that number to get bigger? And the way to do it is to put more money in the account and have less coins.
Hey Ed, did we just bypass the what the top 50 traders? Did you show that? I mean, it's always
No,
a
I never
question of.
showed it. It's right. It's
Oh, you
right
did.
here.
Okay, so explain to people what this is, because these are more unbelievable numbers, but they're real numbers. This is just
Oh,
how it
I
works.
wanted to say something about that last one real fast before we
Oh,
leave it for
sure.
Crypto Casey. This
Yeah.
this report is looking for 3% moves. This month starting, it's running already, but it's got to do the whole year. I'm doing the 3% one report, but I'm also doing one for 1% moves.
Oh wow.
So we can see
Oh
how
wow. Which
we'll
would
see how
that's
many
you
trades. Those numbers are going to get big.
yeah, and that's like a Bitcoin and Ethereum, the
Hmm.
bigger stuff, right? Usually.
Yeah,
Yep.
well,
Like
we're gonna
1%.
see. These other coins might be, Bitcoin might still be at the bottom of the list. I don't know what
Oh,
it's gonna look
true.
like.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, actually, I remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna find out.
Yep.
Yeah, I still think Bitcoin will be lower down, honestly.
Because it's still got to compete with these other. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
Ricky's got a quick comment question. Can this be exported to a CVS? This report? A
no, I
CSV,
don't
I'm
know, but you
sorry,
can just drag all this right here. Just drag
and
it into
copy it.
Excel. Just
Yep.
copy and just paste it in Excel.
Yep. You
Just
can do that
stuff
with
it.
any of the reports. The profit reports actually do generate reports that you can export as a CSV. So yes and yes.
So the top moving coins, the best moving coins, are near the top of the report, and then the like that was 1,500 trades, right, in a year, that top coin, like 1,598 in a year. And then when you jump down here, you start going to the bottom, these numbers start getting really bad. 272 trades in a year. Look at the trades per month: 10, 3, 4, 5. As opposed to the best moving coins up at the top: 50, 80, 58, 100. If you're running a 7-Eleven, you want to put product on the shelves that turns inventory, that you sell a lot of. You don't want iodine in your 7-Eleven or Lysol. Nobody's going to buy that. Only older people buy that stuff. Young people don't even know what iodine is. And frankly, I don't know what it is either.
Isn't it like yellow or red
I
liquid?
don't know. I don't know what it's for. I
Okay.
think they put it on cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not
So
going to sell a lot of that in a 7-Eleven, so they're not going to fill up their shelves. They want monster drinks and vapes and, stuff like that. Hot dogs, coffee, potato chips, candy. You want the stuff that turns inventory. I didn't invent commerce, is what I always say. Commerce has been around for thousands of years. You buy something if I'm running a store, you buy something at one price and you sell it at a higher price. And that's what the auto trader does. The auto trader's got common sense. We need to rename the auto trader from Go Baby Trade to Common Sense Trader.
just no, you need to change it to no emotion. Can you
No,
flip to the results page?
Yes.
So explain what this is, and then don't forget to click on some of the yellows.
Oh yeah, right. All right. Well, this is just saying how much money this person started with 1 year ago. It's a 1 year report. And how many profits they took off the table, because that's what's most important. Forget about it, where the coin prices are, anything else. If this one took 289% return. So what is that? If you divide 289 by 12, what is that? By 12 months.
I went to public school. Give me a second. I got to use a calculator.
All right, I'll let you do it.
24.08% a
So that's
month.
about 24% a month. All right, he really kicked some butt. Now, what does that mean? And some people say, well, I'm trading the same coins he's trading. How come he got those returns and I didn't? Well, remember something. He might have already been sitting in a bunch of that inventory at the beginning of the year. And so so he had a lot of inventory to start the year. Because I've been analyzing this too, because people are asking me these questions, and I don't I don't know why he got 289% return and you didn't if you're trading the same coins. The thing is, when did you buy those coins? He had those coins at the beginning of the year, and he already had a lot of inventory of those coins. And so maybe he bought them all down here and they all spiked and he sold them all off already and made a whole buttload of profit, and then maybe for the rest of the year he didn't do so well. I don't know. But I can tell you, but either way, he took that much in profits off the table. It's a computer, it's not made up numbers. And so you can see, like here, this guy started with 269,000, took 600,000 off the table, another 200% return guy. And what's he trading with? 4 different coins. And it shows you what he has allow buys checked, he has allow sells checked. His profit goal is 2%. He's adding on 2% drops. Max lots. Now, why did I change mine to 5%? Did you notice my trader was set to 5% drop profit goals? Because I want to punish the market at this point. You might say, well, the market's not moving a lot, so I want smaller numbers for a profit goal so I can turn more inventory. I agree with you on that. However, I already have a well-seasoned auto trader. I got all this inventory, and I'm going to say, you know what? Now that you push the market all the way to the bottom, I'm going to punish you. I'm raising my profit goal to 5%. I know some people that set their profit goal at 10%. They're saying, I'm not going to give up my shares for unless I get 10%. Yes, I'm going to miss a lot of these 2% moves, but I'm not giving away any shares for under 10% profit. That's what they're saying. It's the way to punish the market. We can punish them too. They can play games with us. We can play games with them.
All right, Attila.
I'm a bad enemy, man.
Back to the questions that are stacking up.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, they are stacking up. Holy cow. Hold on, I lost my place here. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. So, Jason, this is easy. I know this is kind of a general question, but are there any major differences that your customers have experienced using Kraken versus Coinbase? Yes, there's 2 or 3 differences. Number one, on Coinbase, you could put your money into USDC or US dollars for the trader to trade with. On Kraken, it's only US dollars. There are inherent benefits to trading with USDC because you're in crypto now. And once you're in crypto, it's always nice to stay in crypto. Why go back to fiat? That's a personal statement. Number 2, on Coinbase, rather, there are more coins listed. And you also have the opportunity to save a tiny bit on fees because you could join Coinbase One, which gives you a small 0.25% rebate on fees. But Coinbase already, the trader is already trading on Coinbase Advanced, where the fees are lower to begin with. So those are the main differences. They're both great exchanges. So at the end of the day, you're still going to make the same amount of money. But those are the main changes. Main differences. Good question. That was from Jason Lee.
And you always have a lot of cash on the sideline, and that's another question we get a lot: is how come my auto trader? Why isn't it using all my cash or more of my cash? I hear people saying, "I want to be all in." They don't understand that if you go all in, where are you going all in? At the top, your first buy on a coin represents the top. So I don't care if the coin's already down 94%. If you're buying that coin for the first time, the auto trader's calling that the top. And I don't want to put all your money in right there because what happens when it goes down here and you don't have any money to trade? Yeah. So you want to let the software allocate the funds. I really discourage anybody from doing manual trades, even though the buttons are there for you to manually trade. The biggest mistakes people make is they go in and they start saying, I'm going to buy $10,000 worth of this coin manually. Okay, good. You just used up all your money because they're not doing the math. And the software is. And the software is saying, I want to be able to trade that coin even if it drops all the way down 90%. I want to still be trading. Always be trading. That's the secret.
Yeah, Jason had a follow-up question, which I'm not sure I understand, but it says, is there a minimum amount that the platform will not trade?
A
I don't
dollar?
think, I don't, yeah, I
I,
mean,
I don't.
I don't think you ever need to have any concerns about that since the premier part of this platform is the money management part of it. So it'll
Yeah.
manage your money. Believe me, you have nothing to worry about there.
Well, the minimum amount is really there. Like you can't buy a dollar's worth of Bitcoin. That's a Coinbase rule, not mine. There are minimums that for each coin they can only like you can only go out so many decimals.
Right,
There's some coins you have to buy round numbers. You can't buy, you can't go out 8 decimal places.
right, right. Okay, Edward, you want to grab one or you want me to keep
Sure.
asking them?
No, I'll take Scott's. Scott
Okay.
says, when will the savings profit management improvement be available to us? It goes on to say where we are able to allocate the
Where we
profits
can.
to each coin or to buy Bitcoin.
Oh, but
So when is
wait.
that feature coming out?
Um, well, I had to add the bottom part where what do I do with the funds that are already there?
Right.
And I was literally programming, for hours yesterday on this. Um, Let me go back. Did I share my screen? Or am I sharing my screen?
Yes, you are. You're showing
Okay.
the high trade, or not the high trade,
Oh,
the
okay.
top
I
50.
was going to go back here to the managed profits. You see here, this top part was incoming money. As the profits are being made, you're telling the auto trader how you want it to be distributed.
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't want to release that yet until I could do the bottom part, which says now that I've distributed this money, I still got to be able to manage the money I distributed now that I want you to be able to say, all right, I've distributed for $662 to ACH. Well, what if I want to go ahead and say, all right, take that away. I don't want to take that back or take half of it back. Let's just leave $30 in there. Okay. So you can do that. You can take money out of the coin. You can say, I want to undistribute that. So give you the ability and then say, all right, I want to take that $30 and I want to put it here,
Right.
there, and then hit save.
So
So
on one hand, the
I
platform
needed to do this. Yeah.
on one hand the platform or the entire system manages all of your money while it's trading, but then as you always say, the trader's job is to make as much money as the market will allow. Your job is to spend the money. So you're giving people the ability to manage their profits on the back end and do what they want.
Right. And then you have the edit the profits saved. This is separate from the distributed funds. Now you have all this bucket of money here that you didn't distribute because it was saving 50%.
Right.
And now that's just sitting there in cash. So you want to be able to do something
So
with that.
I think he was asking when it would be available. So you thinking like end of the month
Yeah, in
or?
the next few days, probably in the next
Oh,
few
really?
days. I just gotta. You want me to test it first, or you want to test it for me?
I mean, I think I'd rather you test it. I know how software can get a little squirrely, so
Yeah.
just give
All
me
Well,
3 weeks
right.
because you
instead of
do
one
run
week.
in, there's so much more than meets the eye. Because when you get to the select currency side of things, I'm over here. You see this distributed funds here, and it's showing you right here that you have here. If I spread my funds equally, which I clicked on spread funds equally on the right here, um, it's not really distributing this money.
Because it's
It's
already
it's
distributed.
it's yeah, I'm not spreading that money. That's staying in that extra money is staying with that coin. Now, if you want, you can go up here. I'm still working on these buttons up here. I can say clear my distributed money. Now watch what happens to these numbers like 38,323. I'm going to say clear the distributed funds. And you
Wow.
notice that went from 323 to 347. I just cleared out all my distributed money that I had given these coins and said, you know what? I want to spread all the money equally that's
Hmm.
available, not and pull it out of those coins. So that you got that. And then you can also clear your save bucket. Like right now it's like I have 38,347 and 18,000 in my saved. If I clear this, that 38,000 now went to 40, almost 42,000 available because I cleared, I got, the only problem I have with having to do this, but because I had to do something with that distributed money. What if you want to take it out? It's your choice. And it it makes the auto trader a little more harder to understand and use is my only concern. I don't want to
Yeah,
get
the
back to
user
that.
interface is getting a little complicated. I see what you're facing.
That's what's going on. I don't want to end up where I was already with 10 screens of things you can change. You start destroying yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it
I
simple.
hated to have to put these here, but I felt like, man, if they want to distribute it, what do you do with the distributed money? It gets, I'm telling you, man, this wrecks your brain, man.
Yeah.
But it's an easy system to use. You really do. You get used to it. You'll see. Because maybe you never want to do that. Maybe you're saying,
Right.
you know what? I'm not going to redistribute that money that I put in there. We'll leave it in there,
Yep.
in that
All right.
coin. But you
Yep.
can always go to the other screen, and go to the manage the profit screen and do it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And say maybe you don't want to clear all the distributed money, so you do it here. You say, I want to clear all the distributed money from there, and I want to clear the distributed money from that one, and leave the rest the way they are. So that money will get used by the other coins.
Very
So you
good.
can
Okay.
do it from here
Thank-
without. I put it on this screen here as a convenience, and most people probably won't even use these up here.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Right.
Ravinder, what's your take on leaving? This is a Casey. I made it a Casey. What is your take on leaving funds in Coinbase? It's not controlled like normal banks. Thank goodness.
Is it
Yeah.
not? Is it not controlled
Is
like
it
that?
not controlled by no, it's not.
No, it's not a bank. It's a publicly traded company. It's been around a long time. I know. Wait, so he's asking what I think about leaving money on Coinbase
Yep.
for it
Like
to
as a
trade?
fear factor.
Well, there's risk with leaving money anywhere, especially I'd say there's more risk leaving it in banks than
Yeah.
Coinbase. 100%. I'm comfortable with it. I mean, look, if you're giving money to maybe your child that wants to start a business, or if you're giving money to a venture capitalist, or if you're giving money to the stock market, or if you're just buying a coin hoping it goes up, or if you're leaving money in Coinbase or your bank, there's all kinds of risk involved with any kind of investment activities. So at the end of the day, know the risks, figure out what you're comfortable with personally, because a lot of people have different risk tolerances. People have different, we're in different ages, times in our lives. We have different people depending on us or not. It definitely comes down to a personal thing. But Coinbase is, if Coinbase had a problem, JP Morgan, a lot of things would be having a problem. It would be very
Oh
systemic
yeah.
and terrible.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be an isolated Coinbase event.
Yep.
That's all I have to really say about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Now I
Coinbase
add.
is
Oh,
Coinbase
go
has
ahead.
done a lot of improvements. ChatGPT just told me Coinbase is considered one of the most secure and reputable cryptocurrencies, right? And they hold 98% of customers' cryptocurrency in cold wallets, offline.
Yeah, there you go. And not only that, but if you put it in the bank, the auto trader can't use it. So that to me is a big factor.
The
It's
bank
just
can
dead
use it
money.
and lend it out on
Yeah,
your behalf
that's right.
for
That's
no
right.
Yeah,
fee.
I mean,
That's right.
if it's in Coinbase, you could do whatever you want with it whenever you want. You don't even have to talk to anybody. How about going to a bank and tell them you want to transfer $30,000 or wire 30,000 someplace? They will read you the riot act. They will grill you and say, "Where are you putting that 30,000 and how come you're doing that?" I mean, one person said, "Well, I'm going to buy a house," and they said, "Well, can I see the contract?" It's like, "What?" Since when does the bank
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
drill down on you like that?
This, well, the bottom line, I believe, is this. Every time in my life, and I'm in my 60s, every time I've walked into a bank with a pile of money and given it to them and said, multiply my money, they have failed me every time. So I say bye-bye to the banks. Every time I go into the banks, the only thing that they're good for is the pens, the free pens. They got really good pens at the
You mean
banks.
you steal their pens?
They give them
I mean,
away.
they got them on their counters to take. Yeah, absolutely. They write really well, and that's the best value I get from a bank. Other
Yep.
than that, they're worthless to me anyway.
I
Yep.
went to a bank one time and I wanted to open up a business account, and they said, "Well, what does your business do?" I said, "Well, I automated the stock market and the crypto market." And they said, "Oh no, we don't do anything with crypto." I said, "Well, forget about the crypto market. I automated the stock market." And you know what she said? "Oh no, you already mentioned crypto. That's enough. No, we can't open an account for you."
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, it took me a long time to get a business account for me too, because I've just tried to be like, I'm Crypto Casey and I just make money from commission advertising. I couldn't get a bank account with anybody. I had to get a friend with that had connections to a credit union, and that's how I got a business account because nobody would like, nope. And don't
Yeah.
even
Go
talk
to
about
Blue
buying a house or
Vine.
buying real estate and you're in crypto. They don't
Yep.
like that.
See, you know what I did? I went online and I said, there must be online banks. So I went online looking and I found Blue Vine. I opened up a business account in 2 minutes. Literally that fast. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Yeah, and
There's another.
Mercury's pretty good too.
Yeah. So is Relay. Relay. Relay's good.
So
All
I
right.
is
know. So this is what they did. They should have never let me walk out of there because they forced me to go online. And then as soon as I looked online, I'm like, I don't need Bank of America at all.
that's
I
No.
can
true.
open up an account right here. Goodbye. I don't need you anymore.
So we'll blow through the remainder of the questions. In case if we have time, we're pushing. Actually, we're 2 hours and 10 minutes. We did accomplish what we said we would accomplish in that we told you all about the trader. Although there are pieces of the puzzle based on questions. So sorry to keep you after school, but you're learning a lot, Casey. If we have an opportunity, talk about Uphold when we get a chance. Maybe we can close with that.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Masai. Hi, Ed. Is the profit? Okay, we talked about this. So it's not yet available. You talk about the profit management features. They will be soon.
Couple days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just got to
Okay.
test it. We gotta get a day where we're actually selling some positions. I mean, the market's just torturing us.
Yep.
Okay. Ricky is asking a question, and he says at the end, I hope that question made sense. Not really, but I'll read it anyway. Ed, what is the buying algorithm percentage ration to available trading money? I don't know about that question. I'm not making heads or tails out of it. What is the buying algorithm percentage ration to available trading money?
Well, it has a lot to do with, how far down you want to go. This is saying I want equal funds so that I'm trading the same amount of money up here as I will if it goes down here. So if I invest, if I'm buying in $300 lot sizes up here, and the coin drops 80%, I want to still be able to buy in $300 lot sizes down here. So you got to divide up the money to handle that versus equal shares, which changes it. Plus, you're telling it add shares on price moves. You're looking for 3% moves, and then it's harder to. I know that's the broad stroke, but really there's more to it than that because a coin might drop 20%, which frees up a lot of money that you didn't use up here that now is available down here. Extra money that you wouldn't have had if you were just adding on 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%. If it drops
That was a
10%, now
typo.
now you got extra money here that you can use down here. So the algorithm, it's a very complex algorithm and it's changing minute by minute. So when the auto trader, if you click on a plus next to one of these coins, it's telling you the next estimated price here that it's going to add on. You notice I put the word estimated because it's going to change. It could change 5 minutes from now, but it's not going to change a real lot. But I mean, it could because it's up to how the market wants to behave. So it's
He actually,
it's not a
Ed,
simple thing like a lot of people would think, well, I'm going to create an auto trader and I'm going to just divide up the money by 20 and put that much in each trade. I wish it was that easy. It's a lot more than that.
he actually typed in the chat that he meant ratio, not ration. So that
No,
was
I
a
knew what he was
typo.
talking about.
Yeah.
I think
And
I
he said
answered that.
And he says, so if I add $10,000 more to my account, it buys bigger lots, right?
Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. All right, great question. So, Edward, you want to get grab Ted's?
Yep. Ted asks, Ed, are you running an AI program that calculates the best percentage for most income for all crypto coins, whether it's 1, 2, 3%, etc.?
You mean the profit man that one the highest trade count report?
No, no, he's AI. He's talking about the AI.
Well,
Are you
No,
running an AI? Are you running an AI program that calculates the best percentage for the most income for all crypto coins, whether it's 1, 2, or 3%?
mm,
I don't think, Ted, you understand how the AI works if your question is AI related.
I think
When
he's
it
talking
gets,
about this right here, that 3%, this highest trade count report. I think that's what he meant. I'm doing it for 3% every month, and that's going to come out in a couple of days. It's running right now, because it had to wait till
well,
the end of the month. And then
yeah,
I'm
you're probably
also
right.
just now going
Yeah.
to do one for 1% also.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay,
that's
good.
for all
So,
the coins for those. I'm not doing 2%. I mean, it takes
okay,
a lot of computing resources, plus a lot of wasted time on my part. I got to program all this stuff.
right.
And I'd rather do stuff that helps it make more money. And remember something, this is just another broad stroke of what the market looks like over the last year, and then monthly here you got over the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, how many trades you would have gotten. And then you can see the numbers are different every month. There's 80 trades one month and then 50 the next month. So, I mean, it's very loose. It's loose. The purpose of this report really isn't to tell you that this is the ultimate coin, but it is the ultimate coin if you're comparing it to a coin at the bottom of the report that's going to give you 3 trades in a month. I think I can see that the difference between the two, but I wouldn't try to say, well, this one was number 3 last month and he moved to number 2, therefore he's better than that one now, or they swap places, so now he's better. Swift and Spa for 6 months straight were number 1 and number 2 a few months back. And then this lock-in moved in there, and FWOG moved in there, and PRCL moved in there. But Swift and Spa they were battling it out for the number 1 and 2 spot. I wouldn't say one's better than the other. I mean, they're good enough. They're at the top. Anything in the top 20 coins, are to me are all fine. I mean, you're still getting over 1,000 trades a year, 1,000 profitable trades.
Wow. Yeah, he was asking about the coins wiggles. And I think if you ever rename the trader, it should be the wiggle trader.
yep.
Anyway, Tony Nemo has a question from the UK. Hi, Ed. Are you going to be able to change the percentage profit per individual coin? The small coins present on your default is, boy, oh boy, some of these questions are tough. The small coins present on your default is buy and sell 3%. If we go for BTC, we really would want something in the order of 1 to 1.5%.
Right. You're basically saying take this page and make it available. Right now, it's available. It does whatever settings are on here are for all coins. You're saying make this page sit right here next to each coin, and so that each coin can do its own settings. That would be
Yep.
like running 6 auto traders in
That's,
one.
that's
And
true.
if you saw the magnitude of what you're asking inside the software and inside the trader, you're really you're asking for a lot more than you realize you're asking for.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, most people do what I do. I have one auto trader that's dedicated to just XRP, and I got it sitting off in the corner by itself. And maybe another auto trader. If you want to trade Bitcoin on 1% moves, you just get another auto trader and put it over there. Save me thousands of hours of programming. Just get
I
a
think he
second auto
was
trader and move your coins to those different accounts. I'm not trying to sell auto traders, but you're asking for a lot. It's on my to-do list, by the way, anyways. It's
I
people have
think
asked for
he's
that for a long time.
I think he's specifically talking about only the BTC dollar cost averaging being a different percentage, a lower percentage, because it's dollar cost averaging. But
well,
again,
that's only one coin. Yeah, but if I'm going to do it for one, I got to do it for all
yeah,
the coins. I don't
that's
know
right.
which coin they want to do it for. And
That's
then you're
right.
talking about, I mean, I've talked to people about this. They say, well, I want to do 1% for BTC and, 5% for the other coins. But then I was talking to somebody else and they're like, yeah, but I also want to be able to change this number and I also want to change this and I want to change that. And it's like, wait, if I'm going to, it's not I can't just do one field. You basically got to make this whole page available separately
Right.
for each coin.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, last question. Jorge, actually, there's a question in the chat too, but the question Jorge had was, I had the trader sell at a profit of 0.0387 on 220 and 0.0271 on 312. How come it sold at such a low price? I don't know. What did it buy at? You didn't say what it bought at. So it's hard to
Maybe he's
interpret.
thinking about how the AI works. The AI has to, number one, when you're selling on the bid down here. Depending on how many, say you're selling $400 worth of a coin. You see this down here, like $70, 120, 133. You're going to have to go all the way down to that price. So you're going to get a lower price than what you see on the screen. And sometimes that's simply not. And then other people are out there, millions of other traders will pluck these out of here and they might, you know, we may not get those. And so you might end up, look at this. If you were trying to do 400 shares, I mean, sometimes you have to go way down. And sometimes you get what you get. The software is doing what it can to give you the most profits, but the prices are moving around a lot.
And being
And
manipulated.
it's not about just getting this one best bid price like you think. It's really more about what's going on below it. There's a lot more, you got to add up all these shares to figure out to get you to so close your position profitably. Sometimes you'll see in there order submitted and then order canceled on the screen here. And it's because everything just blew out of it just went from profitable to not profitable.
Okay.
And so we don't leave orders sitting in limit orders sitting in public view. We're not going to leave that sitting there forever because then all the professional traders are making buy and sell decisions based on what your order. So they're only up there to fill. We put them up there to fill the order. If they're not going to fill the order, then pull it back. And that's why we say order canceled.
Got it. Jason has the last question. Can I have two GBT accounts that point to the same Coinbase account? If so, how do I know how to allocate remaining cash? So the answer is no.
Two separate portfolios.
So you would be able to have multiple traders point to the same. So yes and no. You could have two accounts as I do. The account that I showed you is I have in one Coinbase account, but I have a personal and I have a separated portfolio. And the trader, you need two traders to be able to do that. But all you do is set up a portfolio in Coinbase. I don't know how to do it in Kraken, but then you allocate a certain amount of funds, whatever it is that you want to have for the second account.
It's more than allocate. You actually physically put the USDC in each portfolio. So each portfolio knows how much money it has to work with.
Correct. And then when you
it's
deposit
just a regular
more,
auto trader.
Every time you deposit more, you then have to manually allocate where is it going. If it goes into your main account, then you would have to then transfer to any other separate portfolio that you have within that single Coinbase account. So
we can help you do that if you want to do it, but then you'd need another auto trader, of course.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what he insinuated. So, hey Casey, I'm gonna ask you to talk a little bit about the alternative as a couple minutes, if you would, about Uphold and what you know about it and why people should consider that instead of a bank. And
sure.
if you have your link, then please do post that in the.
Sure, I can grab it.
Good.
Well, Basically, if you get a direct deposit with your paycheck into your bank account and you have just money that you use to pay bills in your bank account, and if you use a debit card connected to your bank account, you can use Uphold, which is completely collateralized, one-to-one, fully reserved. They do not lend out your money. It's there. Your crypto's there. It's also an exchange that's connected to 30 underlying exchanges. So if you want to just do quick little manual trades or just mess around in the market without having to move around between a bank and other centralized exchange, that's a cool option. Their debit cards are now live, at least in the United States. I think maybe in some parts of Europe too. And every dollar you spend, you get crypto rewards, which you can turn into free Bitcoin. Direct deposit every dollar you get into free Bitcoin. You can convert it from XRP. I mean, we're trying to get Uphold to let us connect the trader to it, but they're just like, they're big, they're busy, they're super compliant and very strict. So I'm
I
hoping
understand.
this year we'll be
You know,
able
we'll get
to
them now or we'll
link the
get them
trader.
later.
Yeah.
We'll get them
Yeah,
now
yeah.
or we'll get them later.
It's
No,
like you
I'm
say every
hoping we can
time.
get them this year.
Yeah, if you're either going to buy the trader now or later, and if it's 6 months from now, you're going to go, geez, I wish I had bought it 6 months ago. So,
Because the auto trader doesn't care where it trades through. I mean, I'm happy with Coinbase and Kraken.
No,
Yep.
but also what's really important about, I'm gonna grab the link real quick. What's important about Uphold right now is with the weird private credit crisis, all the banks have been taking money from bigger banks with credit and giving the people with poor credit and making 20% interest. And you know, a lot of people don't have a lot of cash flow right now, and a lot of them will maybe fail. We don't know. It's strange out there. Uphold won't have that problem
Oh,
because
by the
they are
way,
not a bank.
yeah.
It's a
By the
different
way,
option.
sorry to step on you, Casey, but
That's all good.
Jason is asking, does Uphold allow me to do ACH where it asks for a bank account number and a routing number?
yes.
Not only is the answer yes, but I think it was who was it? The gentleman, Ravinder asked about the banks. Coinbase, comparing Coinbase with a bank. If it was a Friday and you did an ACH to your bank, okay, from another institution, it would take till Monday at midnight for those funds to clear. When I do my ACH on Uphold, 4 to 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Now,
actually, whenever you get your direct deposit, you get the paycheck like 2 or 3 days earlier than regular banks because they are actually fully funded and they're not borrowing at overnight rates. It's
Nor are
really
they floating
interesting.
your money to make more money on.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So that's why
So,
it's faster.
so it's a world of difference. It's a
Yeah.
world of difference. It's so much faster and more convenient. Okay, Ed Barsano, do you have any final comments? You've got the bucket and the well up.
Oh yeah, only because I like to look at it. You know, because it's reality. You know, it's going to pump money just like that forever.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is every day that you don't have a robotic trader, I'm not a salesman, but I do want to, I got to speak reality. Every day that you don't have an auto trader, number one, you're not building the bear traps.
I
Because
love
when
that.
you sign up, you're gonna buy one lot, and then it's gonna have to. It could take months to build all this beautiful inventory, where I have the market trapped forever. So every day that you don't have an auto trader, you're not building your bear traps, and number two, you're not taking money that they're literally throwing at you almost every day. If you look at this here, closed trades, 325. And these are days when these markets been just going down, down, down. These aren't even up days. 325, 327, 328, 330. That's like almost every other day, right? You know,
Yep.
and they're just throwing this money at us. I mean, I've taken what, $3,600, 3,700. That's a very slow month. 3,700 in the last 30 days. I mean, I've had $30,000 months. So, you
It's
know,
just free money.
it's just I call it free money. I call the whole market an insult to humanity.
I
That's all I
agree to
had.
that. Well, folks, we are here every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We never know when we're going to be blessed with Crypto Casey's presence. Thank you for showing up today, Casey. It was great.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I
And
might have that feature ready by Wednesday.
Nice. We'll have
cool.
a
But only
pretty
if
free
you're
schedule
here.
the next month or so, so I'll probably be hanging out here too.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Very cool.
And,
Very
and
cool.
Barsano can't thank you enough for being with us every week consistently. That's awesome. And any parting words, Ed?
Me or
Yeah,
Edward? Hey, well, if it's
Ed,
me, go Navy.
go Navy.
Hey, all you Marines, go Navy.
How about you, Crypto Casey? Parting words?
Be safe out there. I'll see you
Well,
guys next week probably, and I have some videos coming up, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned to Crypto Casey's videos. They're awesome. Edward?
I just want to personally thank everybody for taking time out to show up. The panel, I always love Ed. Ed, you have changed the trajectory of my financial life and the ability to create a legacy for my children's children. Casey, I always look to you as one of the leaders, if not the top leader, from an educational perspective.
For sure.
In this marketplace, you've seen the ups and downs. You have great insight of where it's going, and we are. I'm proud to be able to call you friend and also business associate. And I am so glad. We got to send Matt some sort of a gift or something for opening his mouth against your better judgment, because I really truly believe that what we're doing here on a weekly basis is providing value. And the ability to climb out of the bear traps of this crappy, scammy financial system that we're in. So thank you. That was a long way to say thank you for joining us.
No, for sure.
Attila and I are working to build value and everything we can do to educate people of what they don't know that they don't know about the scams that they're in. And then you and I, what us and you, Casey, are in lockstep trying to get people out of those bear traps. I also want to say, please do take us up on that offer. We will have an automated calendar so that it'll be posted usually the day after we do a webinar. But in the meantime, send us an email to support@RCT Marketing Systems and say, hey, would love to spend 15, 20 minutes with you on a Zoom. One or both of us will be there and we'll answer any questions and help you make that transition. We don't want you to be in the situation that you go, oh, this is kind of cool, and forget about it. And then 6 months from now, go, geez, I wish I had taken advantage of that.
I hear that a lot.
I
Yeah.
We hear it. We hear it as well. So,
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
well, yes, we charge by the syllable, but go ahead. Absolutely.
I found out my 2 o'clock appointment is not just I don't have to do it, so I have another half hour.
No, we're gonna let people go.
No, what I wanted to say actually was your DNA. People don't think about this, but let's think about it. Let's all of us think about it too. When you have an auto trader, when you first get your auto trader, you'll notice something that changes in your life. And I'm going to tell you what changes. You want to run to the store. You have time to do it. Your auto trader is still running. And then you start out with baby steps, like I can go here and I can go there, and my auto trader is still running. But then later on, after you've been running it for like I have all these years, it's like I'll do whatever I want. I can go on vacation for a month, and that auto trader is still running.
Oh,
You know,
there's like something funny. Maybe you should start with Go Baby Trade and then it turns into Go Daddy Trade.
Skip over the teenage mistake years,
Yeah,
right?
Baby steps and then the daddy's paying the bills.
Yeah.
That's
It
it.
just changes. It changes your life. If you're a golfer, you'll find out that you can go golfing every day. You don't even care. You can go, if you want to go to the beach, you can go to the beach. If you want to go, go camping, go camping. Go take your kids on vacation. Drive to Disney World. Take 5 days. Nice 5 day drive. You love having the kids in the car for 5 days while they're fighting with each other in the back.
Well,
But I mean, it changes your life. It really takes you out of all of a sudden all that clutter you had and all that mystery you had in your head for years about investing and all that. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna just start plowing all your money into an auto trader and just watching it do what it does. And you're gonna be amazed. Watch when BlackRock also, they're trapped at the bottom and they're gonna have to do something. They can't just sit here. They're out of money already. They've already said they can't issue, what is it, withdrawals from some of their funds?
Yeah, some of the real estate funds and other things.
Yeah, I mean, I read that
They're
last
underwater
week.
for sure in some
They're hurting. So, and they are sitting on, they have gone all in on this digital world. And I heard Fink, what's his name?
Larry Fink.
Larry Fink. I heard him on a webinar, on the present, he was a part of a panel, and they talked about all kinds of other stuff. But boy, at the end, he's like, we really got to get this country going digital. Come on, man, the digital currency. We got to, India's beating us. Let's go. I could see he threw that in there, man. That was desperation.
The same guy 2 years ago was saying the whole crypto market was a scam.
While he was buying a lot of stuff.
While he was buying it. While they get you looking this way, they're doing stuff over here that they don't want you to know about. So
what do you got, Attila? I want to hear some final really good last words.
Are you done, Ed?
I'm done.
Well,
unless he says something, then I'll be undone. I don't know.
Well, I always say that, a lot of us, we work hard for our money, and unfortunately, after we earn our money, that money's unemployed. And I don't think there's a better way to give your money a job, which is to make money on itself and multiply itself, than with the Go Baby Trade Trader. I mean, I feel wholeheartedly it's the simplest, easiest, most proven way to do it, at least for a portion of your finances. And I would say just buy the darn thing, put your money to work. And you've got $1,000 discount link. And if you have any questions, you could always email us. We'll be happy to get on a Zoom with you and go over whatever you want to go over. But like I said at the very beginning, I will repeat one last time. It's not whether will it work, can it work, does it work. It's been working successfully 25 plus years, 5+ years on the crypto side. And all I could say is go forth and multiply your money with the Go Baby Trader.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us. Yep. We'll see you next week.
Bye for
All
now.
right. Be safe out there, guys. See y'all next week. There you go. Until his arms are too long. He's out of the camera.
I know. Holy cow. Man.
All right, guys.
I'm too close to the camera.
I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, see ya.
Thank you.